It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 171. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, this is our No Spoilers Shadowbringers impressions, Patch 5.0 notes, Final Fantasy XIV Fan Kit released, the Mac 64-bit application release, Tales of Adventure, optional items, the Feast PvP team season results are in, and fan comments. But first, what has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby, how you doing?
Good. Just another week of just not really playing Final Fantasy XIV. This game is lame. There's nothing going on. It's dead.
The game's dead.
And by that I mean Heidelin, because the party is on the 1st, baby! We're here. We're in Shadowbringers, y'all. This is good. So, we took last week off so we could play. It's been about a week and a half, since the early access. It's about a week today, right, for the official launch. We can talk in joint here because I don't want to spend a lot of time on Let's Shoot the Shit because we're going to talk about the entire patch. No spoilers, of course. I am not completely done. I have just gotten to a zone. I've climbed a mountain. I've killed things. I've gotten to another zone. And I think I'm on that home stretch, right? I'm 79 and a half. So
you're in the 6th zone now, right?
I am in that zone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. So, it's going to be good. I'm excited. In fact, I ran to an Aetheryte and I was excited of the people I saw there. And I'm like, this is still loaded with stuff. I'm at 79 and a half and there's still stuff, a lot of loose ends that I'm waiting to tie up. This expansion is chock full of goodness all the way through. I can't wait to talk about it, but yeah, I've been neck deep since Sunday. I didn't get to start Friday like most, or Thursday at, 5 a.m. or whatever. Friday and Saturday I was busy for early access. I didn't really get to start until Sunday, and I already felt a little behind at that point. Now, not so much. I think I'm pretty close to the end, and I don't think people are tremendously far ahead. Yelta, you've done some of the EXs already?
Oh, yeah. I finished the storyline. I did both the EXs. I even have one of the mounts. I totally loot hoard that girl.
Yeah,
totally
cool.
Loot hoard it, and I've farmed up. I'm max eye level for current content. Leveled up miner and botanist. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been playing a lot. Did one of the rare world fates. Have not seen the other one pop. Someday.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that. But we may be doing a fate run soon. So that it's given us a lot of stuff to do. In fact, the Fate run, I wasn't even thinking about this earlier, but now that we have the cross-world stuff, people can join us, and we have a cross-world link shell. Well, we have 9 of them. But the cross-world link shell, people can join up on the same world and do Fates. We can do a lot of stuff together now. This game, all the quality of life from 4.0 and the new content that we've got now in 5.0, we're in a good place. I'm feeling real good about things. I wonder how long the glow will stay on, but we still got Eden coming up here in another week, and then there's Savage 2 weeks after that, and I'm sure that's not all there is to it. We've got lots more to come, so I'm super pumped about what's in the future. And this story is amazing so far, so I'm looking forward to how they're going to continue the story. Yelta, is there anything that you want to talk about before we move past this? That's all I care to talk about is 5.0. And we got plenty of that to talk about. So what did you do?
I just want to mention that everyone who was like, don't ever take time off for early access, the servers are just going to crash. Other than having a little trouble getting in as we were all logging in at 5 o'clock in the morning, the game was up. There was a couple of DDoS attacks. There was a couple of, whatever. But for the most part, and there was a little bit of maintenance, I played a disgusting amount of this game, and I got everything I wanted to do done pretty much, and had to go back to work today.
Oh.
So I don't know. I just wanted to say that I thought, as far as early access went, it was pretty goddamn smooth. Really.
No Raban EX, huh?
No, there was no Raban EX. There was the crowded zones all had instances, so you did have to, if you're doing a hunt party or a fate grind party, you did have to go to the crystal. I didn't notice this till I forgot that you could just go to any teleport crystal, right? Click on it and say go to change instance, and if the instance isn't full, you can just go. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say. We're going to talk about so much stuff later. But I thought it was amazing. I fell off the earth for a week. I didn't do any social media. I didn't want any spoilers. I'm a huge spoiler baby. But when I was done, it was so worth it to just not be spoiled, to get to see everything. And now I just want to, honest to God, I just want to play the whole patch again. I think there's stuff that other people noticed that I didn't. There's stuff I noticed, I think, that other people didn't. I honestly cannot wait till New Game Plus. I want to go back and watch. Maybe I should go watch all the cutscenes in my in the inn or something. But I think there's stuff I even forgot. That about where you are, that whole last arc. Mm-hmm. I think there's stuff that didn't fully sink in. I'd like to go rewatch some of that. It's all good. I didn't skip a single line of anything. I watched all the cutscenes, and they were all worth watching. Awesome. And the music was amazing.
Oh my God, this music! So I've heard the tracks. I've heard most. Even in the house, there's a song that's playing in our house, and I'm not going to get spoilery, but that female vocal song, the entire arc, I'm going to listen to that for about a week. Oh my God. I know the lyrics. I know the lyrics by heart, and I have not even seen whatever cutscene this is about and the culmination. I'm going to cry like a little child because I have heard this song for a week and a half, and I've been playing the car. I've been everywhere with this, and I'm just so impressed. That and Lahi.
Okay, I did have to turn off the battle music. I
can appreciate that.
I gave it 2.5 zones, right? I had finished the story for 2.5 full-size open-world zones. And I'm like, I can't. I'm going to turn it off. It's too jarring. And it really came to fruition. The Lahi zone was kind of where I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Because every time you aggro something, and then I have to go find it's like guitars coming out at you. I don't like it. I tried to get used to it.
I looked at it as a game. I just made it pretended I was in Eureka and was avoiding as many mobs as possible, running when their backs were turned, just so I could keep the music going continuously. There's not a zone I dislike the music. When I got to... I don't think this is very spoilery, but when at Coluzia, I'm like, okay. And but most of the other zones were like, whoa. And then their additional music, oh baby, there's some Lakelands. Oh my God!
A lot of the themes are really good. I can't wait till you are doing the last 2 80 dungeons. I want to talk about them so bad. But the side quest dungeons. I also don't know why. I love so much of the music. I cannot stand the sound it makes when you accept a quest on the first, and you can't turn that off. I don't know why it's jarring to me.
It is jarring. It's the way, I don't know if whatever beat that they start that on. When I first heard that, I was like, is that the quest music? That's a little odd. Now the quest completion music is perfectly fine. But the quest start music, I can hear it right now in my head. I couldn't hum it to you. Mm-hmm. It's too I don't know. It's just kind of out there, but it's okay. I mean, I can, it ain't the worst thing I've ever encountered in a game. If that's it, then fine.
So the question is it, well, you're going to have to answer it next week. Is the Shadowbringer theme as good as Answers? That's going to be the question.
Oh, honestly,
kind of up there.
It is kind of up there, and I'm going to say it's almost an answer to Answers in some ways. I don't have, well, we do have the lyrics, I think. They released the lyrics. There's a part where there's a male vocal is chanting home, riding home, and it's the same tone. It's the same, to me, it's the same vocals as in Answers that is asking, why must we wander? And I wonder if it's an answer to Answers in a way. I don't know who that chanting is supposed to be representative of. If it's just the people of the planet, the people of the earth, whatever. So I don't know, but I really dig it. If there's any drawback I have, I wish I could hear his vocals a little better. I realize it's supposed to be kind of guttural and whispery in a sense because it sounds dark, snake-like in a way. But without the lyrics, it does make it a little difficult to understand what he's saying until you kind of get to the end and such.
I listened to it today with the lyrics up when I was at work, honestly. And I'm like, I wouldn't know what they were saying. There's a whole sections I couldn't pick out words. So,
yeah,
it's fine because audibly it's a beautiful, awesome song.
Right.
And it's that theme. I'm now listening to the soundtrack and I'm like picking out that everywhere. It's echoed. They did this before. Someone's done this before where the main theme is echoed everywhere.
Yeah. So there's a brilliantness, and I see this across games. Final Fantasy VIII is a very good example for me. When a RPG, any game really, but when an RPG has two different themes that intertwine, there's so much more complexity. So in Final Fantasy VIII, you've got Vithos, Lusek, Vikos, Vinosek, that chant, the Latin thing. But you also have Eyes on Me. And Eyes on Me is that soft, serene thing when you have like a private moment with somebody, or when you're seeing Laguna's past and things, where the witches are kind of the Vikos Lusek song. But they intertwine throughout the game. Those two themes are audibly. You're in a town, you hear Eyes on Me. You hear this, you hear something bad happens, you hear the witches theme, but whatever. Heaven's Word. Two themes. You had Uematsu's theme, this dragon song, and you've got that kind of operatic, it's really just the Heaven's Word theme, that operatic thing when they start with. Shadowbringers is very similar, except that Soken is the one writing both parts. You have the Shadowbringers main theme, the male vocals, the whispery sounding thing, but you have this female vocal. I don't even know the name of the song. But that's talking about stand tall, be free, all this. So you've got a voice that's kind of like the shadows, and you've got one that's like, but keep your head up, and things will be better. And those intertwine throughout this expansion. It's brilliant. I think Soken has done an amazing job. Again, it may be his best music overall expansion. Answers is such a good theme. It's hard to say, like, this is better than Answers. But of all of 2.0's music, I think Shadowbringers just has a better overall soundtrack. And it fits the world. There was never a jarring moment. I've seen some people say, oh, I didn't like this song. I've seen somebody say they didn't like Lahi. I'm still mind blown about that.
Well, I think that one again, especially if you like come out of a cutscene or something, or come out of a battle, it can be just like a little
I guess,
much,
but every time
I don't play with mount music.
I don't either.
So I love. It's
but
more,
every
it's
time,
one of the more in your face overworld themes, though.
Yeah. But every time you come out of that, the main town that's there, Stillwell or Stillglade or whatever it's called over there. Whenever you come out and that first Lahi hits you when you come out, you're like, oh shit, yeah, let's fight shit. Come on, baby, let's go. I'm just energized. That and the music that plays in the town, thank you, Soken. Thank you for utilizing the 1.0 music, the good 1.0 music. Oh man, the theme from Coerthus was used quite a bit. Gridania's old themes.
I totally know. I'm thinking back. I'm like, there was a lot of very familiar themes, but they didn't. I'm like, oh yeah, this is 1.0 music or whatever, but I didn't really think about it.
Of the crop of the 1.0 songs has been used in this, and I am super thankful that they held back on some of these songs for what they're doing here. I was even hoping for more. I was hoping when I was in some of the Kalusia areas and the Armorang areas, I was going to get some old Thanalan or some old La Lucia music. So, and that's not to say I'm not still holding out hope for some. I'm not done, and there's a whole 5.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Oh, yeah, we got more coming.
Oh, there's lots more.
We don't know what's going to be in Eden.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going to be in your Dark Apocalypse, is it?
That's right.
When do we get that? That's going to be
5.1.
the next patch after. Yeah. No,
Yep.
not your. Oh, yeah, 5.1.
5.1, yeah.
Yeah.
Eden will be in a week.
In a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normal. Yep. And is that where do we get tomes? Is there a tome?
I think don't they
change?
roll the tomes out at the same?
Yeah.
Do they roll the tomes out at the same time as normal, or do they roll the tomes out at the same time as Savage?
We'll have news for you next week on that.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's always the same pattern though, so
Yeah.
it's. So we'll have it next week. We'll have normal mode. We'll farm up the nuts and the bolts and stuff, or whatever they use.
So yeah, I'm ready to.
Should we burn down this? Should we burn down the news?
Yeah, let's burn down all this little shit. Let's
Yeah.
burn it down like it's North Lakeland or something.
Well, the fan kit was released. They added stuff to it. We got desktop wallpapers, smartphone wallpapers. They're the Shadowbringers logo, and then like what I would consider the poster.
Uh-huh.
Right. So that was good.
I already had a ripped version of this on my phone.
Did you?
From a long time, for like a month or two.
You pulled it off something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. There might be more stuff, but that's just what the webpage says. Then the Mac 64-bit application release, they have updated it, I guess. The June 28th, support for the Mac version will transition from the 32-bit version to the 64-bit version. And they've got a download site, and they say for more information, look at the previous post. I'm going to peek at that quick.
Did you say it was less shitty?
I read on, I don't remember Reddit or somewhere, that if anybody tried the Mac version and didn't they let you return it or something?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. They
was that
said
bad?
somebody said that it's not ass anymore. No, I'm not. Don't take my word for it. Go Google it. But I read somewhere if someone wants to use the Mac version, it's actually not shitty anymore.
Yeah, I want to know if it went from like just complete ass to ass, or if it's like totally redeemed.
I do not know if it's good now. We have Tales of Adventure optional items. This is specifically the new job level and scenario skip boosts. You were right, Ruby. You called it. They called them ones before because now we have twos.
Yep.
One Paladin's Journey 2.
There's that cash grab.
Yeah, so if you have more money than sense, no. or
More jobs
alts.
than you care to level.
Yeah. So, you can boost your retainers too. I guess I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the one shitty thing about these expansions. I'm getting there and I'm like, yeah, let me set them all back to get experience. Nope, because my my White Mage one is not going to gain any experience till I get my ass on White Mage, and my Botanist one is not going to get any experience till I get my ass on Botanist. So guess what? 2 jobs I need to level next.
Yeah. I did White Mage first, and then level both of my Gatherers. I have a bunch of. I think I have 8 retainers though, or something. But
Got work to do.
so yeah, got work to do. But they're there. They're $25. Tales of Adventure Stormblood. That lets you skip Stormblood, right? Is that what it does?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other one brought me to Stormblood. Because I did buy one of these, and then I never touched her again. That's $25, and then the skip to level 60. Oh wait. Tales of Adventure items to boost a job to 60 are no longer available for purchase.
Oh,
I totally scrolled too fast, dude. Alright, so if you want to jump straight into it, you only can level boost to 70 now.
But the old books, it looks like, does not.
No.
You didn't get a discount and then get to go to 70. Those will only get you to 60. These, though, will get you to 70. The new ones, the 2s.
Yeah, and then the addition to coincide with the Tales of Adventure Stormblood optional item, they've reduced the price on a Realm Reborn and the Heavensward one. So, if you only want to skip to something else, I don't know. Whatever.
Where's Skip Soar or Disband?
Or Disband.
Yeah,
That was back in Heavensward, right?
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh my god, Ruby, you're giving me flashbacks.
Well, I just had one myself.
Join those parties and just like... Or what was the other one? Kill the Bismarck Baleen in one go, or jump off the edge.
Or jump off. Yeah, forget that. I'll be damned if I ride on Bismarck's back again. That'll be the last time. Okay, anyway.
All right, the Feast PvP team season results are in. There be rewards for the top 20 teams per data center, and they are getting sent out. They've probably been sent out already. Sent out after July 2nd. So the Moogle delivery system will give you your rewards. Preseason begins with the launch of patch 5.0. An announcement will be made regarding the season to follow. So listen for that. So who do we got? Oh, Are We the Baddies is the Primal Data Center winner.
All right.
Yeah. Is next. Yeah. I don't...
Count me out.
Count me out.
That's cute.
But Bunny, they all have the name Bunny.
Oh, wonder if they're VR.
That's hilarious. Promotion denied. Pokemon Center calling for the Namazu Collective. You guys have some funny ass names.
These are some good ones.
Babysitting underage.
Feast is dead. This is our expansion though, Yelta. This is where we're gonna create our team. We're gonna go to the feast. We're gonna do it. I feel good about this. We're gonna take every season in Shadowbringers.
Gonna get some of those sweet prizes.
Sweet prizes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers is now available, yo. If you didn't know, it's out.
Huh.
Yeah, you can't pre-order anymore though. That's over.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Did you have any trouble? Did your
Nah, I didn't have shit. So pre-order code came, all that stuff was good. I got Squall's sword, I got all that other shit. But Friday, I come to log in, and I didn't do my code or whatever else. I did, the pre-registration. Mm-hmm. I was playing in the early access, but when I came home Friday, I didn't go to Mog Station first. I just logged in, and it puts the box up there. It says, enter your code. So I went to my email. I went to the Mog, whatever. I opened the thing, typed the code in. Bada bing, bada bang. It was seamless. No, it had no problem.
I know, because I know people were already freaking out during early access, before the second, freaking out. When am I going to get my code? Where am I getting my code? And it's like, chill. You're going to get your code. So I would like to know if anybody didn't get their code. I know my Ulf, who hasn't really been playing, he mumbled that he didn't get his code, and I'm like, yes, you did. His pre-order, his early access code, because it was forever ago. So he got his email with his, expansion code, and he's like, well, I didn't know I had it. It's like, yes, you did. Just pay attention. I love you, but pay attention. Yep. The registration codes and PSN product codes, well, if you didn't get yours, you're fucked and you're not playing right now, basically speaking, right? So I hope you all got them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on to just the big news?
Sure. Why not?
Big news. Oh my god, I don't even know what to say. Because it was all just amazeballs.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of blew our collective load at the beginning for the Let's Shoot the Shit as far as our, very initial impression. I wanted to talk about music. I think we've talked quite a bit about the music out of that. Just overall, the story I thought was very well done. Again, I'm not done. I haven't cried like a baby yet, but I'm fully expecting that. The overall theme seems good. I felt like the story is very seamless as you're doing trusts and whatnot. It's very cohesive. I don't feel like jarring. I think we talked before the podcast. The only thing that's really jarring is when you actually have to go back to the source. When you have to go to the Gold Saucer or you go to your Grand Company to look at stuff. It's very this looks cartoony. That's how I look at it. Everything looks real bubbly and cartoony, and I'm like, everything on the first seems sharp and alien and weird colors and stuff, but it seems more detailed. And I guess that's, just as the evolution of the expansions go. But when I go to 2.0 zones, they're beautiful, but there's almost a smoothness or a shininess or just, I don't know. It just feels jarring when I'm in those early zones.
New to your eyes, yes. I think. You're already used to the old ones. And lore-wise, it feels weird to go back to the source, right? I Oh, how about your leveling experience? Some people were complaining now I have to level a whole bunch to accept my next quest, but I never ran into that. But
there were 2 spots that I had to run either an extra dungeon or do the quest. Now, if you do your quest, I don't think you'll ever have a problem, but you'd have to do all the quests. And there were some zones I did them and some zones I didn't. Like Lakeland, I really didn't pick up a bunch of quests when I first started off. I wanted to push the story along. When I got to Ilmeg, I did every single quest. Everyone that was available.
I didn't do any side quests that didn't give Aether Currents.
But I didn't do, I didn't search out. This is funny, Yelta. I can't fly. I'm 79. I can't fly in any zone whatsoever. I haven't gone out and just hunted because maybe I haven't done enough quests, but like in Ilmeg, I've done every quest. Somehow I must have overlooked them because usually a quest will lead you close to where something is. There was one in Armorang or Kalusia that I walked off to find an NPC, and there was an Aether Current right there on the edge of like some cliff. And I was like, whoa, I wouldn't have seen this unless I was searching for these.
I used my compass all the time. Everywhere you went, I had it on my hotbar. I was hitting that compass.
Well, let me tell you something. I completely forgot that we have a compass. I completely had forgotten that we had a compass. And I was like, wasn't there a way that we were able to find these in the past? And I'm like, I'll find them as I find them. So at 79 and a half, I have not unlocked flying in any zone. And I got nervous just before we started this podcast because there was a mountain I had to climb and I couldn't get on top of it. And I thought, am I going to have to fucking find flying to get on top of this thing? And thankfully I did not. I could swim and climb up the right side of it. But I don't feel like they led you to the Aether Currents like in the previous 2 expansions that were just like, you have to get these Aether Currents because you have to fly. You do not have to fly in Shadowbringers at all. At least up until where I'm at, you do not have to fly one bit. It's slow. But you don't have to fly.
And then I was unlocking flying as I could go. There's a couple zones. This isn't a spoiler, but they did the same thing they did in other ones where you couldn't do something till you hit a point in the story because there's no way you could get up there to get the Aether Current unless somebody gave you a ride. Right? We did a map last night and someone got a ride because he couldn't get to the map. He wasn't that far in the story. But I didn't have any trouble finding the Aether Currents. All of them were very, very simple. The last zone confused me till I realized it was, you have X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm. So, I do appreciate the up and down arrows on the map. Mm-hmm. Those help tremendously. Yeah,
so I didn't find like I had to grind a whole bunch in between quests or between storyline quests though. We are, however, rocking the highest buff.
Yeah.
I was eating food. I was doing my hunts when I found them. I would do fates when I ran across them, that kind of thing.
So yeah, those are great things to keep in mind. Always if you have a free company, use your free company buffs. Again, we're using 3s, but use your 2s. Always eat food. If you can do the Grand Company, run your dudes, your what are they called? The not trust, but the old one.
Your squadron.
Run your squadron and try to get those buffs if you can. But if you don't have them, use your 2s. Eat your food. Something else I've been doing. I've been pumping those potions of get my materia so I can convert my stuff. What are those called? The Spirit Bond. Spirit Bond potions. I've been drinking them like crazy, and I've been changing all my gear over as I go.
Oh no!
So it's something to think about.
Kind of tossing materia at me, so I haven't really worried about it. I hate spirit bonding though. I hated that process. I hated the randomness of it.
Well, now there's less materia to choose from or whatever else, and so it makes the process a little easier. But there's just lots of little things. Hunts, I tend to, and without flying, it's a little harder to knock the hunts out.
It'd be hard to hunt. Yeah, for sure.
So there you go. Yeah, but those are my initial impressions. As we go through these, I'm sure I'll have more stuff.
Yeah. Well, so much of it is like a blur at this point in my head. Yeah. Honest to God, because it's like I've been done for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of now I'm like mad at myself. I'm like, I should have taken notes at my reactions as I went or whatever.
I started, and then I got like 2 lines into it, and then I lost it. Let me see if I can figure out what my son has turned the page. So now I don't even know what I wrote down. But if I come to it.
I do have a note.
Yes.
I have this note that I wrote down that the Party Finder or Duty Finder, which one's the one you? Party Finder.
Uh-huh.
Party Finder is completely full of Party Finders like this. Level 76 Astrologian, I have up to the new Primal unlocked, looking to get you through those massive queue times for roulettes. For a modest pricing Gil, of course, little heart. Safe, fast, and friendly. Serious offers only, please PM me, little heart.
Is that necessary?
Oh my god, Ruby, I was so tempted just to put up a level 80 white mage. I've done all this stuff. We'll run shit with you for free. I mean, it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, don't let people
God.
gouge you over stuff like prisms and things of that nature. People are
my
taking
God,
advantage
it's just so
of you new
stupid.
people. All right, I have written down the choice HUD display when you're able to choose what you're going to do in a cutscene was awesome. They're very cool looking. I love the way that they changed that up. Take a quest sound. Oh, the take a quest sound was interesting. everything rock and roll sounding. So I did like that. I like that. Everything seemed like rock guitar, like grunge rock. I felt like it was the battle music. Felt like it was like something out of early '90s grunge. Sad beauty. What is that? People seem good. Beastmen are. Oh, something about like they speak better. I found like they didn't. Although I'm in a new zone and people have lisps or accents or whatever they've got, for the most part, I was able to understand. Like they didn't talk goofy when I talked to. I think they're like the Mord. They didn't seem goofy in any way. There wasn't anything weird about them. So the Beastmen felt less beastie. They felt more human, I guess. Yeah. So, those were my initial notes till I gave up on taking notes.
I was gonna. I thought about taking notes. Just I have to just play. I have to play now. All right, let's start at the beginning because the beginning's a good place to start. Let's just talk about the cities quick.
Okay.
Both of them are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
The Crystarium is gorgeous. It's taken me a little while to figure out where the different teleports are to what I want to get to.
Pretty wide.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. It has market boards and summoning bells and NPCs all in one city. And then you're not there yet, but that's not where the Tome Exchange guys are.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. The other big city is Yulmore, which is terrifying.
It can be, yeah. I'm at a better part, I guess.
You're at a better part now.
It's not as terrifying. I do see, although it's not unlocked to me, when you do teleport into Yulmore, there are a lot of stands and there are a lot of things that are going on there. So it seems like the crafters are happy when I go to that spot. They seem it's a lot to do.
The gatherers are happy when you go there too.
Yeah.
Oh. And then they talked about the field. All the zones are gorgeous. Lakeland is beautiful. Kaluza is not gorgeous, but it's cool looking.
Yeah, if there was going to be a zone that I say is the most drab, to me it's Kalusia. I'm not completely disappointed. They all can't be bangers. They all can't be Ilmeg, right? But I do like the look. I like the old windmill look. It's shown here in the picture because it gives me that old Quarthus vibe.
Yep. And I'm like getting a little bit of I don't know, constant Highlands vibe from it too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Amarang is, for some reason, that zone, it's again very dry. It looks like Southwest USA, kind of. Except for we don't have a giant wall of frozen light.
No, not that I know of.
I've never seen that, and not in the US of A. A lot of train tracks, though.
Yes.
Ilmeg is beautiful.
Yes.
Fantasy. And the other picture they show in the notes, this little spot was very cute, too.
Oh, yes. And that's why I had to do all the quests here, because really the quest in Ilmeg, there's 3 kind of hubs that you do quests. All of the creatures of Ilmeg are amazing. And I wanted to know their stories.
I'm going to go back and do all the things, but I didn't have to do quests. There was also I take it back. I had to go back when I was done, and one of the first quests I did is summon the Raktika Greatwood, because there's Aether Current quest that there's a little dude, and I'm like, if that's not a minion, I will kill someone. And sure enough, spoiler alert,
Scream!
There's a minion. I know. I had to go find what quest you get him. He is my minion on my bar right now.
He's beautiful.
He's out with me all out. He's just fantastic. That zone is also beautiful. I love the burned out town.
That is Lahi zone, for those that are wondering.
It is the Lahi zone. So, I don't know why they show us the picture of the city and field aetherites, because, yeah, we're going to have aetherites.
Yeah, they are beautiful. I just witnessed a new one where I'm at that's gorgeous. I love the looks of all these. I love that they look dark. They look like a dark crystal. Oh.
Well, and I think it's kind of I think the fact that the crystal also has that overabundance of light in it, I think makes the blue look darker.
Yeah, I can see that. It almost looks like it's got that orange glow of a crystal that's been corrupted.
Oh, do you remember corrupted crystals from
I remember dying quite a bit teleporting around at 1.0.
I have photos of that. I should find my screenshots. And then, of course, they added new main scenario quests. And we can't really talk about it because spoilers.
Yeah.
Everyone dies. No.
Yelta!
Oh, there's your favorite girl.
Which one, the top one or the bottom one?
The little fairy.
She's wonderful.
Pixie. She's pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The main scenario, I thought was just simply amazing.
I love all these people,
yet,
except Minfilia. I love all of them.
Yeah, I did side story quests, but I didn't do many of them.
Yeah, let's see. New side story quests. I mean, I've done quite a bit of quests. The quest syncing seems to work well. Haven't had any trouble. They feel less like fetch quests. They are. I mean, let's go kill 3 mobs, go do this thing. The part that's nice is I actually am reading the dialogue. So to avoid spoilers in game, I put it on the event chat. Mm-hmm. So I kind of fly through some of the text, but I'm reading the event chat at the bottom so I can read the text after while I'm running or something. And a lot of them are really good. There's a lot of good stories. Again, the ones in Ilmeg are amazing. I also did quite a bit that was in Lahiland, Raktika. Mm-hmm. And I've done a little bit in Kalusia, at least the second half. There's some zones that I'd like to do more, but they all have their own stories. Each area has their own vibrant stories, and they tell them well. It's not just like rub stuff on my scalp to make my hair grow back. Well, although that one is fun.
I was going to say you picked a bad example because I thought that one was hilarious. Oh, I do look forward to doing some more side quests. I did do the role quests. I've done all the role quests for healer, and then I did the white mage job. I thought they were fine. I think I don't know if it was better than the white mage quest would have been if it was all white mage quests, but it wasn't bad. And we're getting to the point now where they have so many jobs. I don't know how you do.
You got to streamline it.
A paladin and a warrior and a dark knight and a cumber, and they could. But honestly, I'm not even hurt that they stream. I do love that they capped them all off with a job quest at the end. I couldn't tell you what mine even was, though. I can't remember. I don't think there were very much to them. But I do like that the game then throws gear at you, and that made it pretty. I think you can't. I don't know. You have to remind me when you get there. I don't remember what gives you the coffer, so you have the gear for 80. But I think it's like before. Do you remember when we were all trying to do Shinryu? And we would like not go do our class quests and fuck everybody?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I kind of felt like it wouldn't even let us get into that situation. It was a reward early enough. So
are you saying that this guides your hand? It gives you what you need before you finish?
I feel like it did. I also love. Well, do you love the coffers? I don't have to pick
I do.
I want. I don't have to pick if I want because it's just a weapon coffer. And whatever job I'm on when I open it, that's the weapon I get. I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've saved the early ones for when I go back through on some other jobs. In fact, one thing I screwed up is I changed all my gear over to materia, spirit bonded all my original caster gear, and I was like, I got 2 other casters I need to level, but I've got a bunch of coffers, so if I really need to, plus buying 70 gear is that ain't a big deal. 71 gear, whatever it is. So not terribly worried about it, but I do love the coffers. I think it was a good addition. Well, I'm still waiting to see what these Eden coffers are going to be, but that's a story for next week.
A whole different story for next week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested too to see what that's going to end up being. Anything to kind of, I don't mind RNG, but it's so painful trying to get, and just for normal mode gear.
Right.
I'm like, Christ, seriously? So. You probably haven't done any of these, but I've done some of the Crystarium deliveries.
Hadn't done them yet, no.
They're streamlined much like the, healer quests, tank quests, whatever. So they basically like Miner and Botanist. It's one NPC. You can only do the quests one time. They give a chunk of change. But, I did them on Botanist, so that means I couldn't do them on Miner. Fisher's separate, and then it's, Goldsmith, and I don't remember, Alchemist is another one, and so they tell stories, again, I think it's a bit probably a bit much to do a Weaver quest, and I know a lot of us love our Weaver quests and our Alchemist quests, but if they can make 5 good quest lines instead of making, 13 okay ones, I guess I can support this. Oh,
yeah. Go ahead.
And do turn over high quality stuff if you can. You get a better rating.
Oh, good to know. Yeah, it's same deal. You've got to be able to streamline these in some way, and they found a good lore reason to do this. I mean, we're on a completely different world. This is the time to do that stuff. We don't have Redolent Rose or whatever his name is without the mask on. We don't have all of these other guys that are sitting in the wings waiting for us to do that. And plus again, talking about the jarring effect of going back to the source after being on the first, for lore reasons, it just seems weird to let's do my job quest. Let's go back to the source, do my job quest, come back, go back to the source, do a job quest, come back. This was a good way to do it. The lore supports it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I liked it. And yeah, it wasn't like a mind-blowing system. You see this new screen. It's just turning over items again. But you had to go and find the right items, try to get high-quality ones. And they all had story. It wasn't like collectibles where you just are basically turning in collectibles for stuff. There's a story for each, every 2 levels or something. So it was pretty cool. I did the botanist one, and it was kind of neat. So, let's see. They also note that they've, to support new and returning players, additions and adjustments have been made to rewards for certain main scenario, side story, and job quests. So, I don't know what that means, because I already had everything at 70 by the time I got here. So that
did not affect 3.0.
I noticed
apparently.
that. It's 2.x and 4.x. So 3.x, that's Heavensward, right? So they must have not needed anything to do that. Ooh, surprise, they added leaves for Hand and Land. And this one I noticed. So before the servers went down, before maintenance or before the expansion happened, I went and picked up as many tradescraft and fieldcraft leaves as I could hold, figuring, I'm going to be going through the main scenario. I'll let my leave count go, charge back up as I'm doing that. And then I'll, knock off some of these, fieldcraft leaves. They give you almost nothing. So if you're at 70 or above, don't bother picking up those. It's not worth it. Go pick up the new ones or whatever. All right. They added new fates. They added lots of new fates.
Yeah.
This top one in the picture, this is that motherfucker I haven't been able to find yet.
Oh.
I think he's I've done a whole bunch of the fates that spawn before he's supposed to show up, but that asshole never shows up for me.
Is this in Calusia? Looks like it.
What's the one with the... What? Yeah, Calusia. What's
We
the
had to
one?
go up?
No. Yeah. Yeah, we have to go up.
Yeah. Pelusia.
Pelusia.
Yeah.
What do you think of the jump? Have you done many fates?
Yeah, and I'm kind of digging the fate system, but I didn't understand it at first. I had to go to Reddit, and I was kind of reading while I was bored at work, and thankfully I dodged spoilers, but it was like, you should at least do 6 fates in every zone when you get there and do stuff. I'm like, what is the purpose of this? Till I was talking to these gemstone traders and realizing I wasn't getting their full array of goods unless I got that message, right? That's
Right.
like, you've alleviated some of the problems in the zone, or whatever it says. So yeah, I've been trying to make a point, other than for experience, of doing these fates so I could get the mount increase, the speeds.
The speed buff is the first one after doing 6 fates in each one of the... By the time I went back and did fates and bought the riding maps, I already had flying, so it didn't really help me a whole
Well, it's
lot.
helping me a lot.
Yeah, but if I have people on foot, it'll help a lot. I wish the cap wasn't 500 gemstones. Do you know how quickly you get 500 gemstones?
I'm already capped out on
Oh my
stuff,
god,
yeah.
I keep buying the high quality crafting materials that come from these, but they're selling for almost nothing because everyone else is too. Maybe I should
Right.
just be banking them, just hanging on to them. But yeah, I wish the cap, because it's not a certain kind of gemstone for each zone. It's the multicolored gemstones is one currency for all 6 areas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're
Yeah, I like it. I would wish, they allow us to increase that by doing either X number of fates or specific fates.
Oh, that's true
or-
too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how they go with
Well,
this.
I think there's achievements for getting them to rank 3.
Okay.
I think I looked in the achievement list and something about at rank 3, but I didn't look too far. Oh, treasure hunting. They've added glider skin and zoner skin treasure maps. Glider skins seem to be... I've done both now. Grabbed some people from the free company, inappropriately touched them, and made them do maps with me. The glider skin treasure maps, they have an 8 on them, but at level 80, I think you could probably solo a duo those. It was almost nothing. Zoner skin treasure maps, we only had 4 or 5 people, and it just died too. I think that one's supposed to be the level 80 map for 8 people. There's some items that are still worth something that dropped from those, but it can be hard to pry people away from their storyline to do a few yet. Well, not everybody has their gatherers to even gather them yet, so I basically tried to attract people to be like, I have maps, and I'll do free-for-all loot, because mostly I just wanted to see for science. They adjusted wyvern skin maps, Gigit skin maps, and they've changed alley and tombstones for maps from Mendacity to Genesis. Oh, from Mendacity and Genesis to Poetics. So we're back to two tombstones now, right? Where it's Poetics and the one that starts with G.
Yeah, we had to get rid of that other one before 5.0 started. Same with the blue scripts, because that was a scramble for me. Had to clear those up.
Well, I think you can still trade those in, can't you? I can't remember. But yeah, that's just gone now. Yellow scripts and white scripts are what's left in there now. Oh, let's see. I don't even know much about this next stuff. You can now put additional items in for supply and provisioning missions. Yay. And they changed the display for submersible stuff. Yay. They've added Blue Mage, Gunbreaker, and Dancer symbols to company crests. Yay. We're not changing ours, though.
No.
I like ours. They added some furnishings. I've been too busy to worry about it.
Soon.
They've added gear for the mannequins for Blue Mage, Gunbreaker, and Dancer. They've added some estate icons.
They're cute. I still don't see like a big reason for just a
Yeah,
normal FC to
know.
use it.
I don't think anybody has even set any of ours. We have a lot of people who have the power to set those things. I don't know if anybody has.
I might have set them one time, but they were generic. I certainly didn't put bathhouse, but I may switch one for bathhouse. see what kind of clientele we bring in, right?
How much ERP we can get going on.
Oh, baby. Where did I see that? Somebody said, like, do you ERP? And the person was like, yeah, but it wasn't erotic role play. It was like something Rogan something. And they pissed the other person off in a
the story I heard was somebody whispered, do you ERP? Do you want an ERP? And they whispered back, yeah, and invited to a party. And then they queued up for expert roulette.
Yes.
Yes.
And the guy got mad, and they're like, well, isn't that, you said expert roulette party, right? Mm-hmm. Womp womp.
Have you tried the preview function for furnishings? Because it is sexy. And you can place the furnishing, you can dye it, you can look at it all over. I don't even think you have to own the item. It's pretty cool. So preview for furnishings is there, and it's nice. I don't know. And you can do indoor and outdoor furnishings and stuff, so. Oh. And some things can't be previewed, but I haven't run into those yet. But I don't do a lot with my house. Oh, they also changed the restrictions. You don't have exterior fixture restrictions anymore, which is kind of nice, I guess. I'm still going to keep my house the way it is, but... So, yeah, you don't have to have a Gridania house in Gridania. You can have a, older house in Gridania if you want. Oh, let's see. Oh, this doesn't help me either. Crafting facility furnishings can be used up to crafting classes up to level 70. We got a new striking dummy for level 80. We should probably get one of those for the house. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to go buy one. Oh, guess what? New orchestrion rolls have been added.
No doubt. I've gotten one, actually.
I got a few. I've got a couple, and every time I get one, I run and change the music in our house.
79 Dungeon dropped one for me. Also got a card out of the 8-man after that fight.
Oh, I got a card out of something, too. I was pretty happy. All right. Aquarium fishes have been added. Been too busy to worry about that. The flower pots, the new seeds, are very pretty.
Those are
pretty. I like hydrangeas. Those are nice. There's new prizes for MGP. I think there's a hairstyle, and there's boots, and there's something else. Oh, that reminds me. The achievement dude has a ribbon. It's just got a ribbon. It dyes pretty. I noticed. I went to check it. I didn't see it in the notes anywhere that I saw, but I went and I love the button that just says "Show me recent items." And it had a new ribbon, which I bought with my achievement points. They added new cards for Triple Triad, new opponents for Triple Triad. You can engage in Triple Triad in new areas.
I did Triple Triad this week. I was hoping that I would jump on the board because people were too busy doing Shadowbringers. But it was a hard week. So I tied like 5 of my games, so there's no way I was getting on the board. Mm-hmm. But I'm interested to see if there was any changes at all to these card packs. So I should have checked tonight. I was too busy fucking around on the first. But maybe after the podcast, I'll log back in and I'll check what cards I got and see if there was any kind of changes.
I didn't play any matches, but I try to always get my 1,000 just for joining. So, I don't know. Just see what happens. I haven't played any Triple Triad since the expansion, so... they did make some changes to Dome and Mahjong. This first one is one of the reasons I haven't even tried playing Mahjong, because you can sink your rank so deep into the hole that I would never dig my way out because I suck at Mahjong. Mm-hmm. But there's now an option to just reset it. There's an orchestrion scroll buried under that, so if I have a huge giant-ass losing streak, I would prefer to... I kind of like the idea. I guess I could say get good scrub, but resetting your rank / rating isn't... and it just resets it to whatever it is natively, so you're just basically starting over. And it'll now show your character's face when playing. And a lot of this stuff I don't even know. There's like auto-declare winning hand. This is the kind of Mahjong I haven't played too much yet.
All right, miscellaneous. You can be a Rothgar or a Viera. There are a lot of fucking bunnies, is all I'm going to say.
I see a lot of them, yep.
The Rothgar I've seen are pretty cool looking, too. So both, I'm impressed with the
I
models. They look
love
pretty
the Rothgar, and I'm loving them in every quest I see them in. I love the variety of the Rothgar skins. I have no problem. Then again, I wasn't ever in the camp that, I was mad about the gender locks. So.
No, that never bothered me either, but I could see why it would. I could see a female Rothgar would be kind of cool. That would be something I would be kind of tempted to try. But did you hear if you what's that Legacy Mark emote? It removes Rothgar's hair. Completely.
Really?
And ears and hair or something crazy. I saw a video on YouTube.
Great.
But I've seen a variety. We have a lot of new bunnies and Rothgar or two in our fur company now, and they all seem to look pretty different. So I'm liking the variety. I am a little sad we didn't get any fancy new Viera inspired hairstyles that would fit on other races. But oh well, can't have everything, I guess. Oh, let's see. The sightseeing log, they've added Shadowbringer sightseeing. I haven't been searching them out. I've just been when I walk past when I get it.
Same. But I see a lot of them, and I'm okay with the extra XP, so I do them every time.
I'll take it. I'm so glad they're just this is a sightseeing thing. I still haven't finished all the 2.0 ones. Because you have the time of day, you have to have the emote, and sometimes you have to have the weather. It's then we knew about this next one, about the fates. They have added 2 new categories, In Your Fate and In Your Fate 2. The first one's complete 5 fates with the highest rating, and the other one's complete 10 fates with the highest rating. And they gotten rid of Fated to Wander and Embrace Your Fate. Alright, and they've changed the experience points awarded upon collecting challenge log objectives because the level cap went up, so... They've added Chloe's bronze certificates for Wondrous Tales. I actually got 2 lines last week, and I took the Omega M minion because he's kind of hot. And I kept him for myself. I could have probably sold him for a bazillion gil, but I don't care. Yeah. They've added Skywatcher NPCs to the new areas. You do have to meet certain requirements first. And then Skywatcher NPCs in the source will be able to give you weather forecasts for the first also. They've added new emotes, and it's Lolly-Ho.
Okay.
That was the other thing I had to do. As soon as I was done with the storyline, I'm like, is there a Lolly-Ho emote? It would be just inhuman if there was not. That's when I actually went onto Garland tools and was digging down into what minions are available, what mounts are available. Oh, that reminds me. So, Ruby, do you remember 2 or 3 times in the storyline you look through a telescope and you look for something? Right?
Yes.
You're trying to find a spy or trying to find whatever.
Yeah.
At least 2 of those, there was a creature, which I think is a minion, on both of them. And I want to go back and look and see if there was one, because the first one I did, I don't think there was. So there's so when you're looking around the telescope looking for the dude, there's a minion sitting on there, and you can click on it and it tells you something. Have you seen that at all?
I don't know. Where's this again? One more time?
You're probably going to do one soon.
Okay.
You look through a telescope, and you're trying to find something, and you're going to see something that's not what you're trying to find. I just spoiled the shit out of you, but I missed it.
Well, thanks for the heads up, because I'm going to look for it.
Yeah, it's a tiny thing.
Because there's tons of those throughout Shadowbringers. There's a lot of moments where they have you look for something, find a person coming out from behind a rock, whatever else. There's lots of these little moments.
Yeah, and I think there's minions of at least 2 of those.
Interesting.
Yeah, now I want to go back, because I know I stumbled upon that for 2 of them. So now I'm were there other ones? So anyway... new emotes have been added, new hairstyles have been added. This, I don't know where the top one's from. That's kind of a cute little short hairstyle. The bottom one, I think it's from the Gold Saucer. I think I have that one. Probably PvP, right? I don't
Probably.
know.
Well, this is our year, so it's okay.
We're gonna PvP this. This will be the year.
This is the
We
year.
bring home the gold or whatever.
Whatever they give you away.
Oh no. All right, moving on. Battle system. Guess what, y'all? We're gonna be 80.
Yeah.
Guess what? All they added tank and gun. Tank that's a gunbreaker, which people say feels a lot like a DPS. And then the world is flooded with dancers.
Yep. Not the
Lots
light,
and lots
but
of
with dancers.
Now we have to beat back the flood of dancers. That's next.
Hey, I was running, maybe it was like the 77 dungeon, and I had a dancer in there with me. And I guess as the only other DPS, I was that intimate dancing partner throughout. And it felt nice, to have somebody to hold during that dungeon. So, don't tell my wife. I was watching a dancer.
So I unlocked both. Did you unlock both?
Both what? Both jobs? I haven't unlocked either one. No.
Oh, I unlocked both of them. Did their initial quest or whatever. I needed the gear set,
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
And I kept running. I kept capping on poetics too, so I had to get the gear for the.
Oh, that's smart.
Gunbreaker.
Yeah.
All right. And if you don't already know, Gunbreaker, you unlock that in New Gridania, and Dancer is in Limsa Lominsa Lower Decks. And there's a huge, giant section about actions and traits. We're not going over that. You want to just talk about how your job feels, maybe?
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. Now, you're 80 as a white mage. Tell us how 80 white mage feels.
I feel pretty powerful.
Good.
I still kind of miss Protect just because an iconic. I feel like I should be casting Protect at the beginning of a dungeon. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why it bothers me, but it still bothers me. I'm still sad we didn't get a stone skin or something back. In fact, all my icons are white now because when you hit a certain level, stone and arrow turn into
Dia and Banish and that kind of stuff.
Two white spells, right? So I miss having an AoE dot. That I don't know why, because it's just especially I'm healing and I'm damaging and I have to tab through all of them and dot them all individually, and I'm like, where's my arrow to? I kind of wish I had an AoE dot.
Yeah.
The thing where if you use, I get all my little lilies, and I use the lilies, and I get the damaging spell.
Afflatus Misery or whatever it is. Yeah.
That thing seems to hit for a shit ton.
I saw an image. It was 6 digits.
It feels pretty good if you can heal the tank and whatever. And I'm still learning how to use the changes to planetary, whatever, indulgence. Mm-hmm. You have to basically hit who you want to hit with it first, and then hit them with the cure after. So I use it a lot, especially when I know the fight a little bit. I know there's farming EX primals and stuff. I know we're all going to stack, so I'll use it, and then we might have to spread apart. And then when we come back together, there's still a couple ticks left, so I can hit everybody with, when the damage burst comes out, I can do an AoE heal. And please, for the love of God, I understand you're nervous, but let my Medica 2 do something. But I probably got astrologians going, would you bitch let my bubble go off? Or my whatever go off. So, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty powerful. I feel, there are times where I have to heal a lot. There's a lot of incoming damage, but still, we're not over-gearing the dungeons really yet. So I have to spend a little more time healing, and I've had some oh shit moments, and some tanks I think have probably been like, oh shit. I was cocking off one day. He's like, some tank said something, and I'm like, but did you die, though?
Yep.
And then he died. So, I don't know if it was my fault or if he just decided he wasn't going to use any cooldowns. I still tell the difference. I don't know if I can tell the difference between different tanks I have to heal, or if it's just the fact that I'm running with Beldandy, who else is playing a tank? I can't remember. I run stuff with him this week, too. and they're just better tanks than most. They're still doing like big pulls and stuff like that. That you can still do it. But there's some oh shit moments in there. So I don't know. It feels powerful. It feels strong. Kind of misprotect. And yeah, I just wish I had an AoE dot, even if it was light.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a light-based dot. A spread one, anyway. You want to talk about Summoner?
Yeah, talk about Summoner.
Well, I'm not 80, so I don't have my big blast from my Phoenix yet, but it's coming. Everything else feels really good. I've looked up rotations. It seems to, like my own muscle memory and playing it, I was real close to it. It's just lining up where to put those eggy assaults. So instead of the pet doing the actions or using certain pet actions, or setting it to sick and it just going ape shit, you have to use these. But they've reduced a lot of those other abilities. So now instead of me hitting rouse and Spur's been gone for a long time, but so like instead of a rouse and spur, you've got Eggy Assault 1, Eggy Assault 2. You still have Enkindle. You still have the Devotion AoE. And everything else feels about the same. It's still kind of a ruin fest at times. You just pumping out Ruin 3, depending on what phase you're on. But I like the alternation between Bahamut and Phoenix, because it's like you go into your Aether Flow, not Aether Flow, because that thing threw me off at the beginning. No Aether Flow, not hitting your Aether Flow stacks. You have to suck it from an enemy, and you only get 2. You don't have 3 on Summoner now. So you kind of start with that, but then you start into where you're charged up, your Dreadworm trance, and you go through it. But immediately after you blast Yakmorn, you're bringing Bahamut out immediately. There's no wait period, no waiting for because you used to have to wait for your Aether Flow to line up so you could weave your Aether Flow. But now Dreadworm Bahamut, he does not. He works with your global cooldown actions, not your off global. So you weaving in your festers is not going to do anything great. You're just wanting to pump out, and now it's Ruin 3. You're pumping Ruin 3 instead of Ruin 2. And then by the time that's over with, you've got another, like a small period, and then Phoenix is out, and then you repeat. So what it's done is it's filled that gap where you were just spamming Ruin 3, waiting for Aether Flow to come back up before you just start your 2 Aether Flow stacks and then your Bahamut again. It feels good. I can't wait for 80. In fact, I've had somebody messaging me on Discord recently, giving me some pointers and stuff, and the balance. I've gone on there and looked up their guides, and I think there's like Akmorning.com. It has some stuff for summoners out there. So I'm itching to hit a dummy here in half a level. And half a level and my job quest to see what I can do. They're putting out good numbers. I've seen 2 different charts. I've seen one that had Summoner pretty high, and I've seen another that had it third from the bottom. People already trying to count numbers really fast, but I'll be more interested in a few weeks when we get like real savage numbers and things like that, and there a lot more data to see how the DPS stands on all the jobs. I'd like to see how people are doing for their DPS across the board. But that's really it. I haven't played any other jobs, so I don't really have any other point of reference. I'm not hearing a lot of bitching. I had heard bitching from machinists at one point before the expansion. Now I don't think it's quite as much, but I think a lot of the hardcore machinists are switching to Dancer. They're feeling like Dancer has the soul of the old Machinist, and Machinist is just kind of flashy but not really like too complex any longer, so maybe it's like more entry level like Red Mage was. I don't really know. I don't hear from too many scholars. The astrologians, I still hear, quite a few complaints about astrologian, but those were and I haven't heard much about monks either. I think dragoons are very happy. And I think
dragoons might get a nerf.
Yeah.
Honestly, just from what I've been reading. And we're going to have, in another week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we're going to have adjustments.
Sure.
Probably potency adjustments. There are some jobs that are underperforming and some jobs that are overperforming, and maybe in a month, whatever. But we're going to have some buffs. We're going to have some buffs, maybe some nerfs, Because, they want everything to be everywhere. It's rough, though. Like, so I run stuff with someone who's a bard, and then they can't sing me the song of their people anymore to refresh my mana. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, speaking of refreshing mana, one other point. As a summoner, and I've heard this from red mages too, you have to use lucid dreaming. I run out of MP now on a summoner, and that was unheard of unless you were raising like 3 or 4 people. It's wild. I have to put that into the rotation, or else and I've heard red mages doing the same thing. So there's those subtle changes that are really affecting the gameplay. I don't see them as bad things, but I'm not used to needing it. It was just a drop hate. I've never needed it for the actual MP. It's interesting.
The only thing I've run out of MP on is one of the trials. Mm-hmm. He and it's probably just because of people dying. I keep running these clear parties and stuff where you don't have a third raise. And so the healers are just like pumping out heals and raising people and pumping out heals and raising people. And then, I've got thin air. I've got my buttons to push, and I don't know. It could be rough. And then because I'm also trying to do DPS as much as humanly possible, too.
Well, you're just not respecting the content, Yelta.
I'm not respecting the content. I should wait and heal only when...
God, I can't wait till I can go back to shitpost, because I'm so afraid to go in there to get spoiled.
There's a lot of spoiler stuff there right now, so I would just say the fuck out. They're pretty good about hiding the spoilers, but...
I don't trust them. They're shit posters, Yelta. I don't trust them.
You need to log in and wrap up that last zone.
I think so.
And run those last 2 dungeons, because, oh my god. So, anyway. Oh, we knew a lot of this stuff. Enmity gain for healing. I haven't pulled hate hardly at all. Even as an overhealing white mage, by the way. Enmity gain for certain healing actions has been reduced. I think tanks basically have no downside to using their tank stance. That helps. Also. We got a fixed set of role actions to all jobs. That's fine. I don't have to think about it anymore. They've changed some limit break stuff. Interrupt. I've not interrupted anything. Ruby, you talked about this earlier too. You don't have anything that interrupts. But,
can't.
But I've seen the little bar that has the cast bar, and then it's got like a line around it now, and I actually can see it when someone else interrupts it. So that's actually pretty cool. Mm-hmm. As a tank, especially when I don't tank much, I was never sure, or even a DPS that had an interrupt. It's always kind of hard. Like, I know a good tank probably would have memorized them all, but I tank so rarely that it's like, oh, a tank should interrupt that, and then it's like, this actually gives me an indication that it's something that can be done, so that's kind of cool. Charged actions, I can't talk about that. I don't have any on any job I've played so far. Do you have any charged actions?
Yeah, absolutely. My Eggy Assaults are charged actions. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I have one other, but the 2 Eggy Assaults are definitely charged actions. And they seem to work fine. The only one that I would have a tendency to spam, I love Titan Eggy now, because its Eggy Assault 1, I believe, is basically a self-stone skin. And I use that when I'm not feeling very confident in my healers. So I was in the second 8-man, and we wiped because one of the healers with only 2 people dead decided they wanted to use LB3. And then they didn't heal, and everybody was at half health when the line AoE went out. And both healers and myself died. And it was just the other 5 people without any heals or any raises that kept going. So I lost faith. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have Ifrit out. I'm just going to leave Titan out. Titan doesn't do as much DPS, I don't believe, as Ifrit by nature of there's not 2 attack Eggy Assaults. There's just the Stone Skin and an attack Eggy Assault. But I find that extra Stone Skin, it basically puts a shield on you, and you can withstand hits a lot easier. So I think that's a strategy. I don't know every time that you'd want to use like Titan Eggy, but I think if you're in Prague or something that you're not feeling confident about the situation, or You can't meld vid anymore, right? So you might as well have an extra stone skin. And if the white mages don't have it, I mean, the summoner might as well, right?
Well, I actually like being able to make those kind of choices where, you're doing maybe a weaker geared party. You can do something about it to save yourself. I get to choose whether I do damage or just focus on healing. I think it's nice that you have some, even if it's just a self-utility, you can choose to maybe sacrifice, because you do 0 DPS when you're on the floor, right?
Exactly.
Right, so it sounds like Summoner feels summony, not just.
It's got
summons.
It's got a good summoner, especially when the big dogs are out. It makes you feel like you're almost like an 11 summoner in a sense, because you've got big summons out. And my Eggies are, I have them changed over to look like the little dudes, the carbuncles. So I'm not feeling like I'm actually wielding Ifrit and Titan, etc. They're just colorful carbuncles to me. But when the actual Phoenix is out, the actual Bahamut's out, that's when I'm like, all right, here's my summons.
I like the sound the Phoenix makes. I can hear that.
Like, wow.
It gives me flashbacks of, was it Coil that had Phoenixes in it?
Yeah.
It's the same sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I do the same attacks.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's Purgatory, Brand of Purgatory. You do flame and you kind of alternate to do an AoE flame Brand of Purgatory. That used to wreck us back in the day. Now I command it.
Now you command it. How far you've grown.
Yeah. Does the Exarch have a crystal dick?
Please send me all of your... No, I don't really want...
No. Hey, I just want to bring up something real quick there, because lewd comment. I saw floating around this morning mods of Little Minfilia. No.
No, she's too little. She's just a little kid, right?
No.
I would rather see Lalithel porn because they're adults.
They are.
Minfilia is not... No, she's a little girl. She's an insecure little thing.
You Jeffrey Epstein fuck. No.
Oh my god.
Okay, we can move on now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That'll be the other podcast we'll do. Okay, certain weapon skills and spells have unique recast timers, so now not everything is just on its... And the icon has a little recast timer. That's cool. I don't know if I have any of those either, so... Oh, they've changed a bunch of pet actions. Now, does this feel bad to you or good to you? When I read the text, it sounds bad. So pet actions have been removed. I can't target and heal your pets anymore. They're not in the party list.
Don't need to be, yeah.
Don't need to be. Okay. All right. So I know when people originally read this, they're like, oh, so pets are just glamour now or whatever.
No.
But no. It doesn't feel like that.
Well, you only really needed to heal pets. You really didn't need to heal pets unless Titan Eggy was the one out, your tank was dead, and you were healing that one. That's the only time when I was in Eureka and I was doing solo stuff, I would heal my own pet. That's it. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have a tank pet, and now it's basically a stone skin pet, you don't need to heal the pets. So it doesn't really matter. And the pet actions that's been removed, I've got only one problem with it. The pet hotbar has 7 items on it now, instead of a full bar of items. Mm-hmm. Because it's got 7 items, I've got 4 blocks or whatever it is, 5, that are hanging off the side that you cannot add anything to. It's not like a real block. So I guess you could add those items to an additional hotbar, but I want to use the pet hotbar because it's not using up one of my hotbars. But I'd either like to be able to add something to those 5 extra slots at the top and be able, because I can still use hotkeys on them, right? I can still manipulate them in the keybind menu. I wish I could just utilize that pet hotbar. Let me add the Eggy actions to it or something else. Yeah. I don't necessarily have to, but it's hanging out there, so it's just covering up space on my screen that I can't put something else there.
Real estate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you, man. I got you. I don't know. I know a lot of us were like, it just read so bad, though. It's like, I don't understand.
Yeah, when you're used to a certain way, it's hard to see what the new way would be like. But I haven't had. They're still doing the same thing. Basically, you'd put your pets on sick anyway. The only reason you had your pets on obey was for specific actions.
So they wouldn't do pushbacks, or so you could
right. But
things.
for the most part, it was for the Garuda Eggie, so you could do the one action that you could do increased magic DPS on the enemy, and it's not there anymore. So there's no need.
Cool. Player attributes have been adjusted. TP has been removed. I have, the other night in a party, someone verbally even said they were so happy it's gone now. So, that's cool.
Good.
Maximum MP for all jobs is fixed at 10,000, what I thought sounded funny, but it doesn't really bother me anymore. Especially since the effect of piety is now increasing a maximum MP.
How's that working for you?
Increased MP I couldn't tell you how fast my MP regenerates. It's just so. The only thing I worry about is this stuff is like dumbing it down or simplifying it too much. But it doesn't feel bad.
I mean, I guess it's like half a dozen one hand, six in the other, because you're like either you're generating the MP at an increased rate, so you don't feel like you're using as much MP, or you increased your entire pool and you're just using that extra MP. So it's kind of the same difference, but one is easier to quantify than the other. If I know what my maximum MP pool is, then I can see that easier with a bar than I could counting numbers fast, going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, I don't know how fast my MP regenerates, but hopefully it's higher because I have better gear, right? That's all it is. Parrying is now less effective in reducing damage, and blocking is now less effective in reducing damage. I don't have parrying or blocking right now, so I have no idea. And in accordance with changes to player attributes, the effects of certain monster and NPC actions have been adjusted. I don't know what that is. So, they did change. This next one's kind of important, though. They have changed the party bonus effects. Players will now receive a 1% increase to strength, vitality, dexterity, mind, and intelligence for each unique role in their party for a maximum of 5%. So, of course, tanks, you know what tanks are. The roles now give you, it's tank, melee DPS, physical range DPS, magic range DPS, and healer. So I think what I was reading today was this is min-maxing, of course, and probably not necessary. I've cleared everything so far with a ragtag group of nothing. I don't join parties that have shit locked out. I will wait 5 minutes till a better party shows up. But if you're min-maxing, you can get a higher increase. You can get a better party bonus if some people just like lock out melee DPS when there's no reason to. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, now if you want the best, you're going to have to at least let one in. And that's interesting for the DPS because you got 4 slots, right? So if you're wanting to min-max with this, you can only have a duplicate of one role,
right?
If you're trying to layer it this way, I like the change here. I think it's probably gives a better chance for jobs to get in there. But a lot of that was also because of the way the jobs worked, where some was giving certain buffs than others. Like you always had to have a ninja, or you always had to have an astrologian, where that's not necessarily the case because of changes to the jobs themselves. But then with this, I don't know, maybe it adds enough confusion that for a little while, anything's acceptable. Until the logs come out and they realize, somebody does the worst DPS and they're excluded.
Yeah, there are already groups, or there's already things excluding stuff, or putting unreasonable eye level work. It'll be like eye level 440 for a clear party or some shit. It's like, no. So people are being unreasonable in the Party Finder, but I suggest everyone just go gathering and keep an eye on the Party Finder till a good one pops, or start your own. I don't start my own parties, but there's still clear parties, there's still farm parties, and it's going to be for weeks and weeks. You're not locked out. Or, do like we did and do a free company clear night. So, all right. They changed the 100% increase in EXP gain that is from the armory bonus is now applying to all jobs below 70. From
Cool.
70 onwards, you get 50%. In accordance with the increase in level cap, bonuses for new worlds and preferred worlds are now applicable up to level 69.
Nice.
They added new dungeons, but I think it would be too spoilery to talk about them too much, but I've loved every dungeon I've been in. I didn't find any of them boring or lame or ugly. They are still all basically very pretty soulless loot tunnels, but
Of course.
you know, there's still no like optional paths, or I haven't found like hidden treasure chests or, you know, stuff that randomly spawns once in a while but not other times. But that's what they've decided the dungeons in this game are going to be. So they went for pretty.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I like the way they turned out. I even like the first one, even though it seems kind of drab and it's, you know, things are burning. I liked it. I like the transition of where you kind of went from purple to green. I thought it was well done. Plus, that dungeon, for lore reasons, the dungeon itself can be a little drab, but the lore leading up to it and the shit you see in the first dungeon, holy fuck! My wife was standing next to me. Senna has not gotten near as far as I've gotten. I got to set aside some time for her to play, but she was standing next to me, and this is very early on. We're talking level 71, and while I'm watching this thing go down, and I'm like, "This is the fucking kickoff to Shadowbringers. This shit is gruesome."
It's
I loved it.
Well, and I kind of like that the first zone is this very dry, grassy plains. There's obviously, you know, fields that were full of farm animals and you know, it's just an unassuming little village basically, and you know, shit goes down, and it's a little drab and whatever. They make up for that shit in the second one though. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The second one's so bright it hurts your eyes, but it's still pretty amazing.
When people were saying, "Oh, Ilmeg doesn't look as bright as the pictures that they saw," they're not even considering the lore. When you got light pouring all over everything, washing everything out in whiteness, it's a little different than when you've, you know, completed some objectives or the dungeon itself. Ilmeg is very beautiful.
It's very beautiful. Well, and when you've run around and done some, you know, gathering, and you notice nooks and crannies, and you, the zones are all very pretty, and I think they all have more teleports now. I think all the major
They're
zones have like 3 major
full,
teleports,
yeah.
right? Didn't all the Stormblood ones have 2 major teleports per zone?
Yeah, they
Maybe
added
some
a
of them had
third one to
3.
Azim Step later when they added a Beastman tribe out there.
Yeah. So the third dungeon was was kind of cool. It was nice. I can't even talk about the next one. That's too spoilery.
Very.
We've seen pictures, but it's a blue and black dress.
Yes, or is it white and gold? I think I clearly see white and gold in this picture.
That's a gorgeous dungeon, and
It is.
the lore going into it.
Yeah, it's an interesting lead up going into that one. I will say, and we could talk more about it on the spoilery, we talked before the podcast, if there was anything that's jarred me thus far with the storyline, I got a good Game of Thrones episode 8 for the ramp up to the 79 dungeon. The building of the thing to get to the thing seemed a little fast for me. It was like, how the hell did they do this so fast? It had an air of Game of Thrones. Hey, I'm in Essos. Now I'm in Westeros. Now I'm in King's Landing. Now I'm on the Iron Throne. There's just like, suddenly I'm here and here and here. And but we also said if it took much longer, we might have got bored fetch questy.
If they put a bunch of fetch, and they give you a couple quests to do, right?
Oh yeah, there's like 4 or 5 in between.
They give you stuff to do. You are preparing for this thing.
And it's not even the point. The point was everybody working together. And the point...
I like that part, and I never watched that far into Game of Thrones, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the other part... Well, no, Game of Thrones is completely opposite. Nobody works. They all kill each other.
They all kill each other.
This, everybody seemed to work together. And then when the actual shit went down, it was cool. And then it leads right up to like a big pivot of the story, a pivotal point of the story. So you kind of forget about, the thing. But it's still good. Nothing was negative. Definitely not. It might have been like it was a B plus for that part of the story.
Yeah, if you're going to pick some weak spots, that would be one of them.
Sure.
Honestly. I was impressed by the cool factor. It was very cool, and I was excited by the everybody working together thing. But yeah, it's they pulled that shit in Shadow or Stormblood too, where all of a sudden, all the people you helped came and showed up to help you.
Yeah, it just didn't feel quite as forced here as it does in some movies and things. All the Avengers have suddenly shown up.
Disbelief. Yeah, suddenly this very struggling world, everyone shows up to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I liked it, and there's a couple NPCs that I enjoyed thoroughly at that point.
Yes, there are some NPCs that really stand out to me, and not just Bunny Girl, and there's other NPCs. In fact, there was a quest I did, and I'm like 99% sure it's a gay couple. It's a couple of dudes that are they're buddies, and there's some kind of quest, and I can't think of their name. It's early on. It may be like 73. It may be closer to the 75. But it's a couple of buddies, and they're talking about something, and one has like some really big concerns for the other one, and they kind of make up, and they walk away. And it might have been one for an unlock of a aether current. It might have been something different. Maybe. But I was like, these two are so precious. I never heard anybody else talk about them. I'm going to go back to my Twitter and see if I can find out like who I was talking about. But I was falling in love with so many different NPCs that I hope there's even more. I hope we just get a ton more that stand out from the crowd, because I'm in love with the NPCs that I'm meeting. Karns and Varthan. They're such a blip. Yeah, they're just a blip on the radar. Like, you do a little quest with, and they may not even been an aether current. It may have just been just a regular quest. But these two are so sweet, and they're caring to each other, and it's not like overly romantic. In fact, people would probably say, "Oh, they're not romantic," but there was like you can feel a vibe. There's like a caring or something in there, and I don't know. It was just two that stood out to me in the many NPCs that were out there, and there's a lot of them that stood out.
Well, I kind of like that when they leave things, I don't know, ambiguous, where the viewer, the player can decide. There's a lot of people who are like the guys in Ilmeg. Are they men? Are they women? Are they non-binary? They at one point, one of them references herself as a she. Mm-hmm. They become King Titania, which is weird.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah.
But I, if they are non-binary, I think that's neat. However, if you don't like that, the game doesn't force you into deciding one way or the other what they are, and who cares anyway? Mm-hmm. If you don't care. So, but this game does have some legitimately gay couples, and I think that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. I do look forward. I want to do all the side quests, but as a white mage, I didn't have queues, so I just burned my way through and figured I will do all the side quests on a different job.
Smart.
All right. Well, or the trust system. That's next on our list. I didn't do any trusts until I was completely done, so I didn't really have much to talk about there. You used trusts, though.
I used them the entire way through. In fact, I used them initially for every dungeon, and then if I went back to dungeons, then I played with other people. Yoshida has told us repeatedly not to play with other human beings, so I took him up on it. I decided I was just going to play with the trust. No, I thought for a storyline perspective, I wanted to see a seamless transition. Plus, I like the little menu. It made me feel like I was choosing my party to go into, like, just a Final Fantasy deal, right? Like Final Fantasy VI or something. Choose who your members are.
Yeah.
So I went with it. I rolled with it. I liked their little dialogue with it. Things felt seamless. Yes, it is a little slower. So you've probably heard this, listener, but it is a little slower. They're not, they're doing their full openers and rotations. So just deal with it. But they'll heal. The tanks will tank. The Ancrid's a pretty damn good tank. They do what they need to do. I've only had one boo-boo. Urianger died one time. He stood in some shit.
I'm pretty sure they're programmed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because when I went, one of them made a mistake too. It was survivable, but every other character pre-ran. In fact, it was almost spoilery. The other characters all pre-ran to the save spot.
Yeah, so there's some good things out of this. But speaking of the mistakes, like Alice A has a propensity to stand in an AoE to get her spell off, okay?
Well,
but
and you don't get to use the limit break with her. That was clear.
I did get to use one time. She held back for some reason, but she might have been in like her... You know how red mages kind of have that closer where they have to do their stuff? She might have been preoccupied, so I used the limit break to beat her to it, because I knew she was going to do it. But... So it's based on their personality type. Now, I don't know what the hell Urianger was doing to get killed, but he straight up died. I rezzed him, and he said, many thanks. I was like, oh, that's tight. I like that. So I felt really good. Plus, Urianger is a standout in this expansion.
Oh, I love him so much.
He's a standout. He's so good. Everybody's good, but man, he's good. So, yeah, that's my experience with it. Now, do you want to talk about the negative stuff we've discovered about the trust system?
Well, first of all, part of me wishes, now that I know what I know, I played with human beings all the way through 80. I have one weirdness. Trust seemed to be put into the game to let people who don't want to play with other human beings only play with trusts, but it doesn't work for two things, because you cannot take trusts into either of the trials, right? Mm-hmm. So they're going to eventually have to play with other human beings. That and Alizé made me cry in the first dungeon. The text is good. I now kind of wish I had played trusts with the first time through, and now I really wished I used trust the first time too. So Ruby and I, before the episode, were discussing trusts and our experiences with them, and you were mentioning who you were running through, and I'm like, well, he wasn't an option for me. Apparently, once you finish the storyline, your trusts all kind of like reset to level 71. I have to level them up again, and I've looked it up on Reddit, there are like 2 NPCs I can never use, because I finished the storyline. I can't ever see the crystal dude.
Yeah.
I can't use him. He's not. I don't know who the other one is.
Yeah.
But
So
there's NPCs I can't use, and they reset to a low level. I can't even hit the second dungeon till I level them up to 73.
Which is crazy to me. This level up thing. This was talked about anywhere. It wasn't an open thing. This is a message people are getting when they hit 80. And then I had to go to Reddit to find out that this system actually existed. So there was no warning message that said, hey, make sure you use your trust the first time through, because you're going to have some difficulty backtracking doing stuff. Plus, you may not get to play with every one of them. So we urge you to use them one time. And maybe they said that, but it wasn't like red letters.
Well, Yoshi P had mentioned somewhere in a letter or a note or something that maybe you'd want to take your trust through the first time, I thought. But I thought it was like an option. I didn't think I would be locked out from anything. And maybe that's what New Game Plus is for.
I guess. It's an unfortunate circumstance there. I do appreciate that they're a great learning tool. You mentioned how they'll stand in the right spot. I think those are great learning tools for those that really don't understand. But I just don't get the fact that if you're on a level, and you may be a listener of this podcast and you're like, I don't want to play with people. I play Final Fantasy for the story, whatever. I'm not here to say what level of player you are. That's your choice if you want to do that. But if you thought that you were going to play through Shadowbringers with the trust and then level up all your other jobs with those and have you're sadly mistaken, and I think that's a problem. I think they should have made it where you still have those same NPCs that you had to choose from when you go to that dungeon. It's almost like going back in time. And get to use it, unless they have some plan of making this much wider than it is, although I didn't think that they were, for you to have like these ones leveled up and do them like you do your squadron. I just don't think it fits well with the lore. I think they just should have just left those trust for whatever dungeon. Meaning, when you're 71, you have a selection of trust that you can use. That's it. When you're 73 and you do that dungeon, there's a selection of trust that you can use, and that's it, based on the lore. Just put those same ones back and give them the same conditions. I don't understand.
It's weird. It is kind of weird, honestly. I don't know. So yeah, I'm sad because I cannot do those now when revisiting the dungeons after finishing the story. It makes me sad. All right, but your experience with the trusts themselves, I felt it took significantly longer than running with real people, but I thought it was kind of worth it at least once to see the text chat bubbles. Orianjay did, say he was going to protect me, and Thancred was like, said things, and Ishtola said things, and it sounds like they put a lot of work in how they all have their own personality and they do things. I have not done the Ilmeg dungeon, which they've mentioned specifically, other places and interviews and stuff, how, Minfilia acts differently in it and whatever. So I haven't seen any of that yet. Mm-hmm. All right, they've added item level sync to things. Yep. And since we've got a level cap increase, 70 dungeons and the 4 series of Alliance Raid dungeons will give us XP now. They added 2 new trials. And is it spoilery to say what they are now? Probably.
Well, I think we already...
Well, they're in the patch notes.
They're in the patch notes, so we know what their names are. Yeah, Titania.
And Innocence. And Ruby, they did what I wanted.
Tell me.
So this isn't really a spoiler. So, like Innocence, he has 2 phases in the storyline mode. Mm-hmm. In the EX mode, it's just the second phase.
Oh, great.
This is what I wanted. So I feel like if they're going to give us a cool, neat effect that maybe makes the fight a little longer, but for story reasons it's awesome, put that in the one you clear once or more times if you want to. For the EX primals, where I am farming them for mounts and accessories and weapons and whatever, that I get to see the streamlined version, not the dumbed down. Just don't give me the how many minute Byakko falling scene.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
that was so dumb. So yeah, no, I'm in complete agreement with that. Plus, the storyline that leads up to it's a two-parter fight. The first half doesn't make sense if we're talking to the Wandering Minstrel retelling stories. It just doesn't make sense to retell that part because that part is just story leading up to the real fight here, which is with Innocence.
Titania, both fights, I did the EX primals. You've done both normal modes.
Absolutely.
Did you enjoy them? Did you find them fun, interesting fights?
Yeah, I don't think I think we did wipe to Innocence once. That was the one I said I had to switch to the Titan Eggy to, but we cleared it fine the second time. Nobody even got mad. I think Titania we cleared the first time through, no problem. Oh no, I take that back. The first time I ran it, I did in progress. As soon as I jumped in, like 3 people left, and then they voted to disband. And I was like, okay. So that was nothing. And it was like at 12:30 at night, I was like, let me just see what this looks like. So I wasn't even butthurt. But the second time I went back in, it was fine. And there was at least half were new people. I don't find them both to be difficult fights. And I'm hearing that the EXs aren't terribly difficult either, which is great because, again, it's 5.0. We're getting weapon and accessories. I don't know which one comes from which, but the stuff is going to get overtaken by tome things eventually anyway.
We're going to be replacing them quickly anyway. I thought they were both pretty easy to learn, pretty easy to execute. I turned off my in-progress thing on patch day. I was not going to be... I wanted to see everything from the beginning every time. The weapons come from Titania, and the accessories come from Innocence, and some of the Titania weapons are very pretty. I found the White Mage came underwhelming. The first one I got was the Bard Bow, and it is so pretty. It is so pretty. But both fights I thought were fun. I thought the normal modes were easily doable, even if you were still figuring out your buttons. I don't know if my expectations have been adjusted. I remember with Stormblood feeling like Susanoo and Lakshmi were like too easy. And these were both very easy too, but I wasn't really bothered by it. Maybe I'm used to that now. That's kind of the new lowest. When I've been doing all these in pugs too, so it's, I don't know, maybe I'm changing in what I consider okay. And again, they're the first ones upon rollout. They don't need to be, they're the only thing we have to do once you hit 80 for another week, so. And the music from both are good. Mm-hmm. They added the echo to all of the 4-point whatever trials. They've increased the echo for Omega Alphascape Savage. Maybe I should go in there one of these days. We know this next stuff. We have new tombstones. They're, how do you even say that word?
Goetia?
Goetia? I don't know. And it's basically, you need to turn in all the other tombstones for poetics. Mm-hmm. You can now use Undersized Party for stuff introduced in the release of Stormblood, so you wanna...
I jumped into Shiva at like level 71 just to see how I could do. I beat it, but you know, it was a little difficult learning my new actions. I'm interested to see what I can take down 80. Give me another week with some gear to see what Stormblood stuff I can solo.
The two things that you cannot use the Undersized Party option are the Great Hunt or the Great Hunt Extreme. Guess what I got in my Mentor Roulette?
The Great Hunt Extreme.
Yes, I did. There was one person completely, at least one or two people were completely new to it. The tank knew what was going on, and I've cleared it a couple times. I am so impressed. The group stuck together. We wiped several times, and then we cleared it. I was really impressed. A lot of times the community's like, fuck this trial, I'm out. So, I don't know, and I think one of the people did get their clear.
That's nice. I mean, that's probably the reason you got it, you know, because somebody just queued up for it.
Somebody needed it. That's what Mentor Roulette's for. When I queue up for Mentor Roulette, I do occasionally sigh heavily when whatever pops, but I do it because that's what I signed up for. Unless it's terrible. If people will not learn after 5 pulls, I might just leave. Mm-hmm. All right, Raid Finder only has the 2 new EX stuff in it, I think. And the Unending Coil of Bahamut and the Weapons Refrain Ultimate can still be accessed by Raid Finder. So, let's see. They've adjusted some of our categories. This is, again, stuff every expansion. They've adjusted the categories in Duty Roulette. Duty Finder categories have been adjusted. Duty Roulette 50, 60, has 70 added to it, so it's 50, 60, and 70. The type and number of tombstones have received are adjusted. It's pretty much what you expect. Expert Roulette still, right now it's a coin flip again. I think it's just those 2 dungeons. 50, 60, 70. You get 100 Poetics and 120 Gosha. So, it's same old, same old. If you have time on your hands, I still want to encourage people to do main scenario Duty Roulette, especially if you need XP. My God, you get XP from that. But only if you don't bore easily. I generally will have music on or the second monitor or something.
Yeah.
Because it is cutscene roulette, and I like seeing those cutscenes, but damn, I don't like to see them 3 times a week. Oh, Frontline actually gives 50 tombstones.
Yeah, it might be time to jump back into that PvP.
Yeah.
For real, not the feast.
For real.
For real.
Yeah, for real. I already have enough of the new tombstones to buy a whole second set of armor, and I don't have anything I can use it on yet, so... I don't know, some people were like, worried about what should they buy first or whatever. And I'm like, oh, just buy something, because once you start doing your daily extra roulettes and stuff, you're just rolling in them and you won't even know what to buy yet. And we're getting new ones soon, so. Oh, they changed the Adventure and Need bonus for Duty Roulette leveling and Duty Roulette Alliance Raid. You used to have to be 60, now you have to be 70. The Duty Roulette leveling and Alliance Raids, before they used to give you just cracked clusters, now it gives you like the cracked Stella clusters and cracked plane clusters. You're going to be rolling and stuff to meld your gear in, don't worry.
Good.
And then if you are in need, you get more too yet. And then if you do hunts, you get more yet.
How about those healer in needs? Seen a lot of that?
I have seen some healer in needs. Yep. Healer needs have been kind of massive, actually. I've seen some DPS in need, but that's more like raids.
Sure.
But I've seen a couple of tanks, but not as. I think I've seen more healer. People are still leveling Gunbreaker, I think. Or
oh yeah, a lot of new tanks out there.
Yeah. There's a weekly restriction. There was a weekly restriction on cracked clusters and Orborn. It's gone now. They added new enemies, y'all. We have a whole new world, and they added whole new enemies.
Some wild-looking enemies. One that freaked me out was the bird that has the face on the belly. Have you seen this bird?
Oh yeah, is it a harpy?
I guess so, but it's in two different areas. But the one I saw first was an A or an S rank in a zone, and it was huge. And it looks like a bird, but it's got like a woman's face on its belly.
Okay,
and
next week, after you do the new dungeons, one of them is a harpy. I want to talk about the face on there. Because I think I see something. I don't know if you see something.
Ooh, I'd be interested to talk about that.
I mean, it might just be, I might be imagining things.
Well, speaking of faces, the one face that really jumped out at me is the goblin face.
Yes. It's so Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, it's totally Final Fantasy 1. This is what a goblin looks like. I think we all have known what a goblin looks like, but we're so used to the Final Fantasy 11 masked cute goblins now, but the veil has been removed. This is the ugliness underneath. I'm not sure that's
what our goblins look like. I bet our goblins
think they're
actually
ugly.
Cuter.
No way, dude.
That's
I think
a
they're ugly.
hobgoblin.
Okay.
So the one in the lower right-hand corner, those look like just the pot on the ground until you walk up to them.
Yep.
And they make this cool sound. Somebody's like, what is that? Is it a seed? And I'm like, I think it's a potted plant. An evil potted plant. All right, there's hunts. There's regular and elite marks in the new areas. You do have to do quests, and at certain levels, you will be able to do more hunts. We'll get the hunt bills, and y'all are gonna get all the nuts you need. You can get
a whole sack of nuts.
I got like 700 sacks of nuts.
Man, you are a lucky woman.
S ranks now give you a notification when it spawns if you're near it. It says you sense the presence of a powerful mark. I haven't seen that yet. I have been hunting my B rank, and when I got pretty close to it, it said you sense your mark to the east or whatever. So that's kind of nice. You can kind of maybe have it easier. It got pretty hard on some of these maps to find your B rank. And I have a macro that like shouts, that I like click whenever I target one as I fly by it if I don't need it, because it can be really a pain in the ass to find those. All right, the Centrino Seals cap has been increased from 1,000 to 4,000, but we're all getting our nuts now, so. Mark bills for Realm Reborn and Heavensward areas can now be used to open maps for the respective areas. What does that mean? Oh, I know what it means. It's on the UI. So, Shadowbringers and now Stormblood and Shadowbringers, when you would bring up your mark bill, and it would tell you, you need this here and that here, you could click on it and it would open the map and kind of show you where it is. The earlier ones didn't have that yet. I bet that's what that is. Oh, let's see. They've made some changes to deep dungeons. The items yielded by some of the trimmed sacks are adjusted, and you can get Gunbreakers and Dancer's Arms. Heaven on High, they've adjusted the sacks there too, and you can get Gunbreaker and Dancer Arms. They've added the lawns. That's Stone Sky Sea for the new area. I've unlocked it. Haven't gone there and punched anything yet. But I'm glad they have it. Gives you a feeling, a place to practice, and a feeling of competency when you're pushing buttons. Oh, they've changed some logos actions on Forbidden Land Eureka, Wisdom of the Duelist, and Rejuvenate L. Those used to be TP, and now they're either removed or give you HP. I haven't PvP'd yet, Ruby. I don't know if I want to talk about this yet. I would like to get into it in the next couple weeks, but they've...
I'm willing to save this for the next time.
Yeah.
I would be willing to jump into one. Whether or not we jump into one between now and then, I got a lot more Shadowbringers to cover, but we've talked about doing a Fate night where we're going to go to the zone so everybody can get a Fate. We've talked about maps. You've done some already, I believe. We've obviously been talking about the EXs to do, and I think it'd be fun to do a PvP night. There's lots to do. We have lots to do.
There's always lots to do. I know this last week though, everybody's been basically just leveling and doing stories.
Yeah.
So I haven't put anything on the calendar, but it might be time to soon start. So let's cover the PvP stuff later. But stuff had done changed. Oh, they added new items, new recipes, blah blah blah. They did the normal thing. They've actually put the fair voucher. The Rising Token and the Pumpkin Cookie are now the old. They've switched it to a useless item, so last year's won't help you anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got nothing else, guys.
Yeah, I just skimming the grade 7 Dark Matter. I was appreciative. I was expecting like a grade 8, but the grade 7s repair the 71 through 80 gear.
It seems like it's still a reasonable gil or whatever sync, so...
I've been taking out my Materia 6s because I use those while I'm leveling. Those are 100% removal rate now. So no worries there. I have not used Mutamix, but I hear the cutscene's gone now, so you can just like churn out some materia.
And you just like keep doing it over and over and over again.
I got lots of 5s, and I'll have lots of 6s that I'm gonna hopefully bump up to 7s. When I do this.
People were excited about the overmelding, and we're going to get more excited about it once we get some good crafted equipment. If you want to, if you want to like overmeld and fail a lot, if the same type is present in your inventory, you can just keep melding them over and over and over again. So
let's hopefully that's not the case, and you get it on the first try. But in case you're like many others and break 20 in a row, yeah.
Well, and they, of course, increased the level cap for desynthesis.
As expected.
I don't even think I can desynthesize Stormblood stuff yet. I kind of fell off. Once you didn't need it for the relic, I was like, meh.
Yeah, I just use it to farm up like some metals and some, because I have it on Goldsmith. That's the one I primarily use it on. And in those events that you have to make a glamour item and you need like the Battlecraft 3s or something, I got a shitload of those because I know how to churn those out. But otherwise, no, I really don't use it.
Crafting stuff changed. I think the most important thing is they kind of streamlined it so hopefully to do decently you don't have to level every single crafter. I'm not going to go over ability, but I haven't crafted really yet, so. Yeah,
me either, and I would like to, because in order, I'm going to level White Mage, I'm going to level Botanist, and I'm probably going to knock out Culinarian. I like to have Culinarian up as one of my first ones. I will probably go in that order for stuff, and so over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing Botany and Culinarian, and I'd like to have some more insight on this and talk, maybe even have a crafting and gathering episode when we get a month down the road or something.
There are people already who've completely capped all their crafters to 80 and they're selling stuff, so
it'll be expensive.
Some people have different goals than me. I guess I have 2 gatherers already up. That was pretty easy, so. I know that people are loving changes to the crafting log and changes to the crafting, the synthesis UI. You now can see the buffs that are on. There's just a lot of more information. This was all in the pre-patch notes, I think. But stuff is easier to understand. Oh, they've reduced some recipe requirements for difficulty. Excuse me. They've added actions and traits for Disciples of the Land. I really haven't figured out when to use them. Excuse me. I can't breathe pop, apparently.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they've added traits. The traits for the miners and botanist is all enhanced stealth, so that you can hide from higher and higher level monsters. And then, of course, the capstone for those are both enhanced GP regeneration 2. So, you have to chug less potions. They've added gathering points for miners, botanists, fishing. I don't know. All this stuff's pretty much stuff we need. They do have new tomes of regional folklore. There's only one book for each of the 3 gathering classes so far. They haven't added crafting ones yet. We're sure that's coming with the raids. All this stuff is stuff we know, guys. They added more ethereal reduction. They've added more, they've made hidden stuff not hidden anymore. I have not used the freshwater or saltwater boilies yet. That's only for 2.0 areas. And I still have a 2.0 quest, so maybe I just should go knock that out one of these days.
Yeah, they had said the boilies, but I didn't know that they were going to differentiate freshwater and saltwater. I thought it was just going to be one paste to rule them all.
Yeah, apparently you still have to know if it's fresh or salt. Oh, they've done... the Gathering Log now has entries... Okay, the Gathering Log I can talk about. Entries relating to regional folklore are now categorized by region. Gathering locations and time informations are now displayed for any items you've already successfully gathered from undiscovered or hidden gathering points. Gathering time information will be displayed for any items successfully gathered from ethereal gathering points. A timer indicating when the item will next be available for gathering can now be created for any item successfully gathered from an undiscovered, hidden, or ethereal gathering point. Ruby, this thing is so cool. So
really?
if I am trying to get, let's say I'm just gonna, usually I use garland tools, and I have all the maps up and the timers up and everything. But if there's something I just want to gather one of or something, I just want to be alerted to the next time white oak branches are available or whatever, I bring up my gathering log, I click on the item, and there's a little icon that's like, this is a timed thing, and it's at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. I can right-click on that and say, make me an in-game timer for that. It goes off 3 minutes early, which is adjustable. So I can just, or it can be like, and do it every day. So I can just I can just go about my business doing fates hunts or quests, and 3 minutes before something pops that I'm waiting for, the game will tell me. I don't have to memorize 11 million things. I love that the data you need is in the game. You still have to discover it the first time, but the data you need is in the game. So I did do that. And I think, again, if you log out, it goes away. I think all those macro timer things did that, so.
That's neat. I love all these quality of life changes as we move forward. These are all great.
As I said earlier, if you're above level 70 and you're trying to trade collectibles or do leave quests, just don't bother with any of these old ones. Because, collectibles, you'll only get 10,000 XP, and that is not enough to get anywhere. So do not do any of those old collectibles unless you really need them. There's no new collectibles, though. There's new collectibles. And there's new collectibles to hand into, but there's no custom deliveries yet. We don't have a new custom deliveries person. That probably still gives you a chunk, but I don't know. But the amount of experience received when delivering collectibles as a level 60 to 70 gatherer has been increased. Hope to catch up. Oh, they've added white crafter script and white gatherer script. Red script is no longer available. Blue is no longer available, so it's yellow and white now. Blah, blah, blah. They've added a bunch of level 70 stuff, armors, gear, accessories to vendors in Kugane. So if you're leveling up and you threw all your gear away or whatever, go to Kugane and just buy some off the NPC.
There you go.
Don't do like some people in our free company who I love you all, but don't ask us to craft you old 4-star crafts.
Why? Because you're going to finish. That you're going to be out of in an hour when you're 71. You can buy different gear.
They've added new mounts. They haven't even put a picture up of the one I have.
Oh no!
Oh no! I did get. I said I loot hoard the hell out of Titania the other night, and I like rolled a 40 or a 60 or something. I got the goddamn mount, and I'm so happy.
But this mount below, not Triceratops, but
that's
this
gotta
is
be Innocences.
This is the new mount.
Yeah, they're little like dragony guys. They're cool. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
They've got like a magical sparkly effect, but it's not overwhelming. I don't know, it's cool. And a ton of shit can fly now. Mm-hmm. We knew that's coming. There's a couple new chocobo bardings. There's a bunch of... Okay, so Ruby, see that new minions have been added section?
Mm-hmm.
See the dude on the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the guys I saw at the telescope. You already
so
passed that one.
Look out for him.
I think you already passed that one, but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So are you saying if I would have saw him, I would have got the minion?
No, I didn't get the minion. So the minion comes from somewhere else.
Okay.
But 2 of the dudes I saw, I looked them up later, and they are minions in the game.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just want that great serpent, that's all.
That great serpent?
A Veronka.
Oh my god, he's so cute! It just makes me happy. They added the market board to the Crystarium, which is hilarious because the Crystarium didn't exist, so how could you add it to it? But it's there. Retainers have a bunch of shit. I don't even want to go over this stuff. Oh, I am loving, and it's taking me a while to get used to, but they did what we wanted, where if you are interacting with a retainer and you back out, it doesn't back you all the way out.
Oh,
it
thank God.
backs you out to a list of your retainers.
Thank God. Didn't we just talk about this in our last episode?
We should do this, and they did it. So.
And they did it. So they always are listening to the
Gather
Together
podcast.
podcast.
They all listen to us, and they give all of our... Holy shit, why does he leave all this gil on his retainer in this image?
That's dumb. I take all the money off.
I'm always like, I take all your money. Money. Oh... Let's see. I don't care about most of this anymore.
Jesus, it's like they added a whole expansion's worth of shit in here.
I know. There's a whole bunch of new stuff. I have sorted my achievement list, but I don't know if I don't understand what's going on or if I'm doing it wrong, but like the filters are being weird for me. So I may need to...
Give them some feedback.
I'm trying to give him some feedback. I don't use do you use the recommendation window ever? I never do.
No.
Okay. The party finder, I used this last night, but no one did anything with it. You can now, there's a little chat bubble icon in your duty finder, or your party finder. You can, click that, and it just puts a link to that party finder entry in whatever your default chat is. And that should hopefully make it easy to... I know, I always feel... I'm like, Kohede or Raven, this thing needs 2 healers. I'm going to join, and I link it and join it, and this should just make them instantly able to go find it. So I think that's awesome. You just click on it, the party finder opens up. Oh, I don't know. The party list is interesting. The barriers... shields now show up as a mark. I kind of like that. I can see if somebody has a shield on my tank and I don't have to hit him with another shield.
I like it. I think there could be some adjustments to I'm not digging the yellow bar overlapping the names at the top. I think there could be I love the way that the black mage is shown in this with that little bit of yellow over top. I would like it maybe like an additional line or maybe another color on top. But if it's easier for healers, that's fine. I feel like they're going to tweak this later down the road. Mm-hmm. Maybe not in the next patch, but maybe by the end of 5.0 there'll be some adjustments to the look.
I think the presentation could be adjusted, but I like what they're going for.
Oh, totally. Yes.
The battle animations for NPCs and quests will always show that, so that's good. You can't show, except for if you have a potato computer, you can't shut that off. You can store more stuff in your glamour dresser. You have 5 more glamour plates. Group pose now affects trust NPCs.
Yeah, even the glamour plate window it's a different color and stuff to it. They've made some
it's slightly different. Yeah,
adjustments.
they've made some changes. They've added the new Shadowbringer trials to the duty recorder. I think we only duty recorded one thing ever, and just kind of were messing with it. So I don't know. I do like the fact I can see that I wiped at 0.1%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice. I have not changed my scheme to light because I like the dark
Not going to do it.
Not going to do it. I don't mind that they made it an option, mind you. You know, to me, this more choices is good. Oh, Ruby, what else?
Jesus, I don't know. I've already spaced out.
Let's talk about the mentor change later. We knew it was changing. They told us it was changing. It hasn't changed yet. So, but y'all, if you're a mentor now, you might not be at 5.1.
Hope you got enough commendations.
Just saying. I maxed out my commendations. I have the mount now. I'm pretty happy.
This guy. I'm sorry. I scrolled down and I see the face of the guy in purple, and I'm like,
Oh, you can have crossworld link shells. I see a couple of link shells now that have been like, we're swapping for a crossworld link shell.
We need to do it.
And I want to do it. I was going to talk to you about that before we recorded, but we didn't. But there's still only like that low amount of people that can be in it. They're still capped so low. So
I just don't understand, and I guess I'll make this brief. I guess they couldn't have just changed them over, because then you would have 9 and then it would have been weird. But it's like there had to have been a better way than just adding 8 more. Why? Just get rid of the original link shell system. Tell us you're going to get rid of it. Say, look, guys, we know you love your link shells. We're making it better, but the only way we can do this is to delete the old set. Whatever you got to do.
They can't do that until they let us have a full number of people in our crossworld link shells. That you still can only have like 64 people in your crossworld link shell.
Well, I'm proposing destroy link shells and incorporate that extra space into.
Then you would save that memory or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's imperfect. I'm hoping that they'll let us experiment with 8. They'll see it doesn't crash the servers. They'll increase the amount you can have in those 8 link shells. And then, as far as I'm concerned, they can retire normal link shells. Or some of them, anyway. I don't know. They play a lot of the stuff very carefully. They don't... I don't know. It's hard, though. The crossworld link shells I'm in, I think they're capped, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think Gather Together or Novika's Bosom should do a crossworld link shell to maybe have, a better way to reach people on other servers. What to think about that? I almost started one the other day, but if you don't invite people into it right away, it goes away.
Oh, no.
And I wanted to make sure you were on.
Well, you got to catch me when I actually have my chat up and I'm talking to everybody, which will be by Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. I like this one. Text relating to the formation or disbanding of a party member. A party will no longer appear if you're in a cutscene. I think they should stop showing me fucking shit in a cutscene. Don't show me a roll-on loot in a cutscene.
No, don't you want to know how? Don't you want to know when you sold something on your return?
Oh, not in a cutscene. I do not need that fucking text. When I'm like clearing something for the first time and I want to take that death, he's doing his little death throws and the little achievement pops up. And
I'm taking
screenshots. Me to roll for loot.
And that screws it all up. I hear you've been talking about this since I met you.
1.0, yeah. 1.1, I don't know. It's pissed me off forever. I do not need giant messages in the middle of my fucking screen that my retainers are back from their things. Don't need it. Oh, I don't care about any of this other stuff. I do like that they show you there's a little arrow, help you see your objectives above or below you.
Mm-hmm.
I might be spent, dude.
Yeah.
They took the frame rate, limited away, and then they put it back in.
So
people couldn't.
So they had the issue. I think this was actually like a bigger news point that we didn't add to the top. But when they locked it at 90, there was a wall clipping issue where bots were using this to clip through stuff. So they did it, but then people couldn't launch their game, so they had to remove it until they come up with a better. And there's a post about it where they're like, "We're going to come up with a better option, but for now, we're removing it." So it didn't really go off the way they wanted it to.
Anything else? I think we're good.
I'm pretty happy with everything here. I would say, listener, if there was something that you wanted to have covered that we didn't cover in the last 2 hours, let us know, and we'll cover it on the next episode.
For sure. Whew. You know, it was an amazing expansion, and there's still a lot of stuff I haven't done. Mm-hmm. Still, and I no-lifed this shit for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, there's still stuff I want.
It's an expansion worth absorbing yourself into, and even if you don't have the time to know life, like you can't do that stuff, take your time. I think this is important to, if it means blocking out social media or whatever so you don't get spoiled, take the time to really experience Shadowbringers. I think Yoshida was on the money when he said really soak this in, because this is a really good story. It's told well. The characters are good. The music is good. The backdrops, the scenarios are good. I've heard people say this is their favorite Final Fantasy. Not 14, mm-hmm. that Shadowbringers mm-hmm. is their favorite Final Fantasy of all time. And I'm almost to a point, this rivals Final Fantasy Tactics for the best story of a Final Fantasy.
Ruby, you finish that last zone. You do that last dungeon and trial. You mm-hmm. do the last 280 trials. And I think you're going to be like, this is the penultimate. In fact, my biggest fear is what could they possibly do for the rest of patch 5.0, and what could they possibly do for 6.0?
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know the woman's name that wrote it. Somebody can get back at us with that. I saw a tweet talking about it, but it was a woman who wrote the storyline to this, and just an amazing effort, an amazing job at writing a beautiful, cohesive story that is tugging at the heartstrings of every Final Fantasy fan out there right now. I've not seen anybody say that they did not cry at this ending.
I saw a tweet from someone we know that said it kind of fell flat for them. But who knows? Maybe they weren't as invested in.
And I saw people who said Lahi wasn't a good song, and so I just can't take everybody's opinion seriously.
No, well, and there were some people who never did the Crystal Tower, even though Yoshi P said you're going to want to do the Crystal Tower. And then we had the Mog Tomes event that basically rewarded you heavily for doing the Crystal Tower.
Right.
So if you didn't do that storyline, you might miss some of the lore. You might not understand why a couple cutscenes made us cry.
Right.
If you skipped everything, if you don't know anything about the, you don't know anything about, my brain just shut off. Not Ascians. Yeah, Ascians. Mm-hmm. If you don't know anything about Ascians, you're not gonna be affected as heavily.
Right.
If you don't know anything about,
Alligans.
The shards, if you don't know anything about, if you've skipped anything about, you as the warrior of light, there's stuff you're going to miss and is not going to impact you. I think I might have missed some stuff just because I don't remember. My memory isn't what it used to be, even though I read every line of text, but it's very impactful and and I'm watching like Ethis and Anonymous just post that they're kind of taking their time getting through stuff because they're collecting all the lore and they're left with more questions than answers, and it's so much better than Stormblood. If I was going to tell someone to skip anything, I'd be like, just skip. If you do Heavensward, skip Stormblood. You could probably like TLDR Stormblood and still get out, Stormblood had its moments too, though, really. It had some, there was some good shit in there. There was some good storylines.
Well, was it 4-3 or 4-4? I think it's 4-3 that's got Tsukuyomi in it.
Yeah,
her fight. Oh, that was a great patch. Great patch.
Well, do you remember how we were like, the Warriors of Darkness story arc was so minor and so quickly resolved, and it is kind of the foundation of some of the shit that's going on now. If you didn't do that, you wouldn't even know what's going on here. For some of the main scenario, you would know what's going on with some of the role quests. We are on the first where they are from. So, I can see if you skip something, you could be very confused. Or if you had a memory like me, you'd be lost. But alright, we are at like almost 2.5 hours. Let us fucking move on,
Oh
man.
my god. So,
let's go.
I was going to say, quickly, we've got happy hour. We got a little bit of listener question and fan mail. Basically, I asked, how was your Shadowbringers experience thus far? And we had some good responses. Zante says, such a blast so far. Bill Mardigan says, man, I love this game. Autumn Gray says, still trying to finish my weekly go to work challenge log entry, but at least I was able to update this morning before I left. Looking forward to playing this weekend. Mr. Watts, great name for the suspension, just resubbed, so lost, LOL. I told him, go through the gates. Snickbad says, which one of those bastards decided the first day the kids were off school was the best day to start early access? I want names. Keychak says, so far still at work, need to update, need to finish MSQ, 5 or 6 quests, but so much hype for so many hurdles still to cross. Hunting for Game says, most today was catching up on post Stormblood, but managed to open wide the gates right before the closing up of shop. It looks amazing. The build-up has been great. Jarka says, I have my Thundercat with a boom sword and tank queues are over 30 minutes. As a main tank player, it's a strange world to live in. And the Modern Marvel says, super laggy and already ran into a few bugs that made me skip cutscenes. So not good. Hopefully that was on very day one. There was a few patches right after that to fix some things. I think one was a bug that had to do with cutscenes or something like that. So they made some adjustments very quickly. Hopefully, Modern Marvels, that has changed for you. So thank you for the feedback. We love your feedback. Continue to give us your Shadowbringers feedback. And of course, we'll have spoilers come next episode. So by the time you hear this, you can talk to us about anything, I think, at this point. So
I think so. I also had I don't know what I was doing. Looking at I think I was doing Innocence EX. Joined some random party
ERP
finder.
again, Yelta.
Yes. Some random party finder, and I was probably toasted. And Marlo Azels from Hyperion said, so Yelta, do we have to sign a release to be talked about on the podcast? And I'm like, LMNO, no. And they're like, or do you just talk about how bad we are without mentioning our names?
Wow.
Dude, I was probably the weakest link in that entire fucking fight, but it was fun. I just love it when people like shout me out or whatever. I like it when people say, yo, we listen to the podcast, and yeah, I'm Terabad. The party had some weak links, but I was at least one of them. I think it was after our Titania clear/farm. I wasn't ready to go to bed yet, so I was pretty wiped out. All right, last call, Ruby. You have a last call.
I do, but the listeners aren't going to people to hear this by the time it happens. So check back. But I'm going to be hanging out with the Work to Game guys this Thursday, talking about Shadowbringers. I believe it will be spoilerific. We're still working out some time, so there may be some adjustments to that, but as it stands right now, that'll be Thursday. If there was any change to that, or as it comes up, we'll tweet it out. We'll talk about it. And then we are planning to have those guys on, and I think after I talk with them on Thursday, we'll kind of work out some stuff to have the guys from Work to Game with us, Brian and Chris. Yes. So that's going to be good. Look forward to more of that from the Gather Together crew in the near future.
All right, I think we're done.
So done.
Man, I'm so done. I've completely lost focus. All I want to do is listen to the soundtrack some more. Mm-hmm. I should go to bed anyway. Then I guess it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. Try to battle those bots for rank.
Oh, yeah, we had a few of them. I left one of the comments up, though, because I thought it was funny. I'm going to go right now to it, and I'm going to read it to you. Our comment says mice.
Mice?
I think they meant to put nice.
Nice.
But they put
mice.
Mice. But the next comment was, hey, buy my blue pills that, make your penis bigger or something like that.
Oh, my God. Well, so, if you're looking for penis pills, go to also our comment section.
Great.
All right. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. You can email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, RUBICONVALE.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yeltasumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.